What is the Matrix?
Your mind must unlearn what you have learned.
Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Talking to Experience. There's always something, right? So my spectralizer again is doing this. I don't know what's up with that, but it is what it is. They will and like this recently this is not happening, right? So this isn't didn't used to happen, right? But all of a sudden now, this is what's happening. Okay. So if I play music, for example, right? Now when I do the spectralizer, see now you'll see the green bars raise up a little higher. And as I said, the green bars. Okay. I usually have to go into the properties of it and then click it, and then all of a sudden it'll be fine. Let's try the music. Okay, so now that I'm speaking now, it gets raise a little more. All right, so this, I had it working fine earlier because I started to do this video earlier, but because my back was hurting me, I had to lay down, and plus I was tired from being hit with radio and microwave frequency, which you guys are going to see as I am going to show you guys exactly again how they use silent sound spectrum, right, which is a radio frequency based weapon to manipulate our minds, right? So again, this is something that you can't see because again it's in the radio wave microwave frequency spectrum, but it can be felt. Not also can it be felt, but you can become aware of it. Okay, so when I talk about the awareness of it, okay, let me see something here. If I do this, all right, let's see. Does that look better? But anyway, yeah, like I said, you can definitely be aware of what is going on, right? Oh, I didn't quite like that. All right, see, again, you can be totally aware of it. Let's see now. Okay, all right, so that looks a little better. All right, and I'm going to, while I realized that I was being under control using silent sound, using the control from the microchip again is from radio wave frequency transmission and also receive, right? So it's two-way, right? Meaning that they can send you transmission, but also they're able to decode your brain signals, brain frequencies, signal, right? In which again, this is how they know like exactly what I'm looking at, what color I'm looking at, and such and such. Particularly when I'm in the home and they have me on the remote neural monitoring, it is one horror in experience because not also that you have to contend with I have to contend with the New York Predators Department sitting outside using their sirens, sometimes so aggressive, right? So for example, I was picking a snake off the floor and I had to sit down, right? Because again, I sit down and I bend forward, right? They started using their sirens, right? Again, just because I have an injured back doesn't mean that I can't bend forward. Of course, I have to be sitting or I'm holding on to something. And even if I'm not holding on to something, that does not mean that my back injury is so insignificant that I can do that. Obviously not. Obviously, like I said, I have the medical records to show it, right? Not only do I have x-rays, but I have MRIs to show that the extensive damage. And again, this is not going to fix itself. So I wish I had the letter they sent me years ago because I put it away. But I think they got someone in my family to take the, to go and remove the letter, because I put it in a container that I had where it should have been. When I went back, the container is not there with the letter, because I wanted to save that letter, and I should have took a picture of it. Okay, but I did do a video. Okay, showing you guys exactly what it is they say. So there is a video in there, but I got so much video on YouTube, right? That for me to go look in this is a lot, because I do a lot of video exposing my targeting over the past decade and a half, right? So this is something again that I have not been talking about recently. Okay, and then there's other TIs who have been going through this since the early '90s to mid '90s, and it is, I remember, who is it? Julian McKinley. She was an NSA analyst, and when she went to her higher ups, explained to them that they have been receiving calls from people who've been talking about being hit with microwave and radio frequency, and also who talk about being microchipped, right? And they kind of like, tell her, put it to rest. But she went and she did her own investigation to show, and they literally, she became a target, and they started targeting her, and they job mobbed her so bad that she couldn't work at the NSA anymore. Okay, so I think her website is still up, or you can find the information. You can find the PDF, the letters that she wrote to her higher ups, because she uploaded them onto the internet. So it's there, right? Now look how the spectralizer is a lot better now, which is fine. But anyhow, let's start the video. Like I said, I started this video earlier, and I literally passed out, right? Literally passed out. I lay down because I really couldn't do it sitting down because of my back. So, and I took a muscle relaxer, and so that, usually I take a muscle relaxer, it doesn't put me to sleep. But what put me to sleep is the tiredness, right, from being hit with these weapons. Okay, so let's begin. I did this already. Like I said, I'm just doing it over again. But I fell asleep, so I ended up waking up, and I was like, oh shoot, the first video that I played, right, which is about my targeting. But you know what? I'm glad, because now I get to do the editing and show you guys exactly what it is that they have done, and particularly with the hand signal. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. All right. So if you're a TI and you're going to get triggered by this, do not look at the video. Okay. If you're a target individual, do not look at the video. If you cannot, if you feel that I'm targeting you, or what the people are doing is targeting you, just do not look at the video. Okay. All right. So let's get to today in Corrupt Cops USA News.
Cop fatally runs over a black mother, returns to duty. Here's a reminder of what happened.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my God, bro!
I did. I already did.
CPR in progress. My mom. My mom.
The sunset, you killed my mom, right? Okay, that's those cops. They should know when it comes to black people, they don't care. Okay, and I was saying in the other video, when it comes to black people, and you hear the cop use the sirens. Yes, I said black people. Like I said, not just me, right? But these racist cops. Their job is to give every black man, woman, and child a record, is to control you, is to do things, particularly when I talk about COINTELPRO and the purpose of COINTELPRO and the fact that all the black people in America do not teach their children about COINTELPRO. Right? They don't, even though we know today that the FBI still actively monitors the black community. We know this. Okay, we know this, but because we are a defeated people, and they continue to use every tactic, methods against us, and they'll attack us when we are younger. And then it's not just me saying this. Okay? It is not just me saying this. All right? They are still actively engaging in COINTELPRO and using COINTELPRO tactics. And worse, they are engaging in cognitive warfare and neurocognitive warfare against black people in particular. Okay?
Put up the picture full mass.
It's fair use copyright disclaimer. Okay?
The copper fatally.
Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107 allows the right for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Now, research. I've been getting a text message from some body saying that they want me to be involved in some research. I don't know who you are. I'm not. No, that's okay, right? Then also again, I started getting calls, particularly today. I talk about when the New York Predators Department began targeting me. How I will get a message that says a call that says suspected spam. Okay. Let me see here. All right. And I should have took a screenshot, but I was like I said, I was tired, so I wasn't. My mind wasn't thinking about that because I was tired. So today again, I got another call. As soon as after all of this happened, I get a phone call and it says suspected spam. All right. But anyway, because again, they didn't do this yesterday. I didn't get no call yesterday. For doing no text about doing research. But Monday when I got home, I did. Actually, not Monday when I got home, but Monday during the day, because I picked up my daughter from school on Monday. All right, and I think I uploaded a video. I uploaded the video Monday. So yeah. Anyhow, let's continue.
Ran over black mother, has now returned to duty. Desire Pool ran over by Shelby Kennedy. She was run over in front of her family.
And here's the thing. The predator cop could have stopped, but no. Because it's black people, and again, Trump won. So, their racism is now so emboldened that they're doing something like this, because not also that, but they know that the police department have their back, right, when it comes to killing black people. And as much as these Sambos and Sambinas and Negropean male and female love to think the police is going to protect them, we know the police are not. And that is a reality that we cannot seem to understand. Right? They fail to understand too that a lot of crimes that take place in our community, right, is perpetrated by those in positions of power and those in law enforcement. Right? The predator department, yes, I said law enforcement, and they have to be held accountable. So until we have a civilian militia, okay, because the Constitution gives you the right to form a civilian militia. And like I said, as black people, we need to be using the Constitution. The Constitution states that the people have a right to form a militia. That's in the Constitution. Okay? Now, I was reading about Byron Allen, who used a civil rights law from the 1800s to sue McDonald's, because he couldn't sue McDonald's under the 1965 Civil Rights Act. So why did he sue McDonald's? And I'm sorry, I don't want to take away from the tragedy that just happened here, but I need to talk about this because, like I said, I have videos to do. But so why did they use that 1800 Civil Rights Act to sue McDonald's? Because again, they couldn't use the 1965 Civil Rights Act. They have gutted the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Okay. And the judge found that there was sufficient evidence for the civil rights trial the lawsuit, right, to go forward. Because what McDonald's have been doing is, and again, this is all corporate America, they have a small budget to advertise in with black media. As I said, small budget. Right? They have a small budget that they give to black media. But Byron Adams owns, this man owns a lot of channels, all right? A lot of media channels. Right? And so because of that, okay, he's suing because what he said is that McDonald's has, basically locked him out of the mainstream media. And again, he is mainstream media. He's a black man who owns, quite a few media. He owns the Weather Channel, the Griot, as well as other networks. But, they have been trying to keep him at the bottom. I mean, yeah, he's a multi-millionaire, probably a billionaire, but still, right? Still and again, this is nothing new. But again, when you look at, in this case with Byron Adams, McDonald's, it clearly shows of racism and racial discrimination against black people still exists. But you have Negropeans walking around talking about racism don't exist because, they're doing better than everybody else, and God favors them and they're blessed and so forth and so forth. Right? But you shouldn't take pride in because you have, when you have moved up to a economic or financial status that is, which most people, right, not just most black people, but most people will never achieve, right? You should be able to say to yourself, when I say shouldn't be, let me rephrase that. But you should always say to yourself that I wish more of my people were in my position financially also. But that's not the way how we're conditioned. We're conditioned is that if I become a millionaire as a black man, right, my job is to uphold the system of white supremacy. So my job is to mingle in white spaces, right? To go to the black bourgeoisie's events, right? And not do anything for black people. Because if I do anything for black people, I'll be attacked, right? And because I've accrued material things from the wealth that I accumulate, right? I'm too afraid to do that because I know that it will be taken away. Even if I'm not aware of it consciously, I'm aware of it subconsciously. Okay? I told you in my other videos that, you guys see 2053, black people have zero wealth. A decade earlier, there'll be the greatest wealth transfer of from white people to another group of white people, the younger group of white people, right? That's $84 trillion. Okay? That's a lot of money. All right. So when they tell you they cannot, that America can't give black people, black Americans of black American descendants of Africans who were enslaved in America, that's a lie. That is a bull-faced lie. We see every single year, every single day, they give hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries, right? Corporations get hundreds of billions of dollars in subsidies. Okay, we see that. They can print money whenever they want. Okay, so they can give black Americans, ADOS Americans, reparations. They just don't want to. And black people have to understand that you're not going to get reparations. Stop waiting for the U.S. government to give you reparations and do things. Now, when I sue them, right, I'm just waiting for them to make their move, right? When I sue them for that $932 trillion, you'll get your reparations. Okay? I'm not going to apologize because I didn't, I'm black, but you're going to get your reparations. Okay? Anyhow, let me get on to the video.
41 years of age, Miss Poole, fatally hit by a Houston police officer. More than 2 months ago, the family is furious after.
And they should be. They should be furious. Okay. Again, let me just show you guys. So she had enough time to stop. Look how far she is. Okay. Family's walking the street. But because she figured, you know what? They're in the street, so I'm gonna the job as a driver, right? Is to what? What did they tell you? That pedestrians always have the right of way. Okay? Unless you're in the like an ambulance or a predator police and you're responding to a crime that's taking place, a crime that have taken place, you use your sirens. She didn't have her sirens on. She did not have her sirens on. She wasn't going to an emergency. She was, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't chasing anybody. This is something that she decided that she's just going to run them over. Okay? Now, if all of them were together, she could have killed all three of them. It looks like there's three people there, right? And then she goes back to work, right? They concluded the investigation and they claimed that she had did nothing wrong, right? Let me see, give you guys the screenshot here. And he said, Poole was later pronounced dead at the hospital. HPD said her group was not standing in a marked crosswalk during the crash. No, during the crash, during the hit. Right? The victim's mother, Patricia Barnes, believed Officer Kelly still should have been paying, and she should have. You're a police officer. If another motorist was not paying attention and did something like that, they'll be calling you or you would arrive in the scene and arrest them. Okay? But like I said, these dog triad types, they just waiting for Trump to get into office. They already started anyway, since he's been elected. Okay? And so what they, like I talk about, white people will, particularly white predator cops, any chance they get to kill a black person, they're going to take it. Particularly if they feel they can get away with it. So the fact that she wasn't in the crosswalk means to them that, hey, I'm going to get away with murder. I'm going to run this woman over. I'm going to run her over. And that's what she did. All right. So, anyway, it is ridiculous. And there was, or is that something else that from the police department? Okay, here it is. It says, as of Monday, Houston police would not disclose how fast Kelly was driving, citing that it was part of the investigation. The closest sign to the scene of the crash stated that the speed limit is 35 miles per hour. HPD confirmed Kelly was back on the job after initially being placed on administrative leave despite the ongoing investigation. A spokesperson claimed this is protocol, and it doesn't mean that the officer have been cleared of any wrongdoing, which Barnes feel is unjustified. Okay, this is what they do. All right, so you guys go look at the video. Let's see, it's another. Is what it says. All right, you guys can read that. We'll go look at the video. This is Indisputable with Dr. Ritchie, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, one of the, as I said, Dr. Ritchie. But again, this is what they do. Listen, I know when I speak out this against this stuff, even Dr. Ritchie, he'll tell you that they used to shadow ban his channel. Okay. Also, Dr. James Small, his channel, they shadow banned his channel. That's a Dr. James Small. All right, they would shadow ban the channels of black people who is talking about the plight of black people in America. They don't want us exposing their dirty laundry. They don't want us to do that. they don't, as I said, so one of the things that, again, I'm going to explain this as a TI, what they'll do is that when you mention certain words or certain words, you read certain words or say certain words, and you're doing something, you're reading something, you're looking at something, and the exact same word is used by the host or is what you're reading, they will use their sirens on their thing. I mean, it makes no sense. But again, this is how they create a false narrative, and this is how they engage in what's called mystical manipulation. There's nothing mystical about it, right? You know what I'm saying? If I say a certain word, or if I'm reading a certain word and then somebody else says it as I watch a video or what have you, what is, they're using the sirens. Why? It is to put into your mind. And there was a video of it was Darren Brown. It was Darren Brown, and how they made him believe that he had committed a murder when he didn't. Right? And the way how they did it was very convincing that he didn't know, but everybody else knew. Just as his other video, Game Show, and I love Darren Brown because I would say thank you for the people who are exposing certain things that the vast majority of black people are unaware of. They're unaware of how white people have been taught to psychologically manipulate black people. Okay? And they don't say anything. They'll sleep with you. They'll have your children, what have you. They'll impregnate you as if you're a black woman. If you're a black man, they will let you impregnate them and what have you. But they have been taught how to defend white supremacy in such a way that, again, they're not going to tell you about it. So they get to enjoy you as a black person, whether it be sexually, whether it be exploitation, and some of them they'll eat you if you're a black person, right? So, but again, they still uphold white supremacy because they benefit from it. Okay, there was another video I saw where you had a black woman married to a white man, right? They had a daughter. She was having problems getting pregnant. They went to fertility clinic. She finally got pregnant, and her baby come out white. Okay, and I forgot to talk about this too. I'm not sure if I saved the video, right? So I'm not sure if I saved the video. Okay. Let me see. I'm not sure if I saved the video, but I do. Let me see and watch videos, because I usually I have videos in my watch video section that I want to watch. But yeah, and I say to myself, this is what they've been doing. They've been altering the genetics of the genes of black people, right? So when a black person impregnates a white person, right, they can now, or a white person impregnate a black person, right? Particularly if they're having problems conceiving and they go to fertility clinics, they are editing the genes. So now that child is white. I've never seen anything like this before. And she said that, they will always ask if that's my daughter. Right? Now we know when a black person and a white person, the black person and the Asian person, black person, Hispanic person, I'm talking about a dark-skinned person, right? have children with other groups of people. That child will come out with some color. There is some blackness. There are some people who will pass as white. But this little girl was 100% European, coming from her black mother. Okay? All right. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, I didn't save the video. I don't know why. I should have saved that video. But sometimes, you know, when, like I said, sometimes you'll forget certain things, and you listen, it's okay. Sometimes your memory will come back, sometimes it won't, and that's okay. All right. Like I said, don't ever become hard on yourself because, you know, it's not your fault. All right. This is an act of terrorism against you as a TI, and so you have to look at it as that. Okay. All right. So let's get to the videos of the targeted individual program and the target individual experience.
All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the targeted individual program, targeted individual experience. Leaving the house after what? 2 days? What's today's? True.
Here's the thing. As a TI, I want you to understand. Right? They will always, again, is what they want your mind to believe. Okay? Meanwhile, they're still manipulating you using silent sound. Right? I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I'm very aware of what it is that they're doing, either beforehand and sometimes after the fact. Well, actually, most of the time after the fact and sometimes beforehand. Let me just say that correctly. All right? And so they will always try to bargain with you in order to silence you. And again, they do things when you're unaware of it, because again, they engage in covert warfare and covert psychological warfare. Right? And then try to control you. Right? But understand that they're the ones that's manipulating you. And I talked about this, right? So when people engage with something which is called conspiracy against your rights, when one or more people conspire to deny you of your rights, okay? And again, there's a reason why there's the law, conspiracy against rights. Because the court has recognized, and the legal system has recognized, that people will engage in actions that you may not even know is going on, conspiring, right, to deny you of your rights. Okay? So, for example, the stand your ground law that, you know, happened in Florida, in which a young man was killed, and a young black man was killed, and because the white man claimed stand your ground, right? But yet that's something that black people didn't know. But he knew it as a white man. Okay? He knew that there was something that was passed in the legislative house of Florida. Even black Democrats in Florida did not even know that this law had been passed. Okay? So when I talk about these things, like I said, there is plenty of evidence to show you that this is what they've been doing, and they have been doing this for a long time. So when that young man was killed by that white man, the white man claimed stand your ground, and it became a big thing, right? Again, all over the news. What's stand your ground law? And which other states have passed the same laws that we as black people didn't know that those laws were passed? Okay? So there's an example of this government and those within the government doing things in secrets without us even knowing about it. Even their own, even other senators and Congress persons don't even know about it. Okay?
That's day. So I didn't go out yesterday. I didn't come outside yesterday. Like I said, I'm home for the week. Well, until Friday. You know, Pam texted me. She called me to ask me if, like I said, only when she wants something. So after telling me that I don't have to come this week, right? We'll see you we'll see you on Monday. Only to have her call me, asking me to pick up Alyssa. Remember, she's home this week, right? Because she made an appointment to go get her ID. Okay, it's all a lie. It's put like this. It's partially true, but she got other plans, right? So So she goes like, "Oh, I'll put the keys in Alyssa's bag." And I'm like, "Why?" Yeah, pick up Alyssa. Okay, I'll pick up the boys and girls from school and take it to the boys and girls. All right, you don't just leave, put the keys in her bag. Okay, but she's like, "I'll put it in her bag." And I'm like, whatever. Why? Because again, she's hoping that I would stay so she can go out afterwards. I know this woman. I know what she thinks. I keep telling her, I'm not your damn babysitter. Okay, it is not my weekend this weekend, right? But it's funny, like I said, how she would at times call me and she's like, "Hey, you coming over?" Even when it's not my weekend. And then there are times when I miss the kids and I want to see them. It's not my weekend. I call her like, "You mind if I come over?" No, it's not your weekend. It's my weekend. You know, this is the type of game that she plays. Like I said, it's only about her and her mindset and her. You know, she's like the selfishness is like ridiculous. But anyhow, so I've been in the house yesterday. You know, getting family members to target me. Right? You know, like for her point. Like for instance, I woke up this morning. My sister was in the kitchen. All right.
I'm about to show you guys again these tactics, right? Right. So, remember I talked about how they surveil you, so they know that you're going, so they already have the perps already lined up to target you. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom this up because I want you guys to see this. Okay.
Yesterday, you know, getting family members to target me.
Okay. Now you see. Now look as again. You'll see them walking up. Now watch your hands.
So I've been in the house.
All right. Watch her hands. Go back slightly.
Ridiculous. But anyhow,
okay. Watch. Now she's looking at me, right? She's not looking at where. Look at her body. It's turning to the left, but look at her. Right. Look where her eyes is at. Where her head is at. Right. You can see he's turning. He's turning. She's turning. Look, her body's twisted. Right. But she's focused on me. Okay.
Been in the house yesterday. You know, getting family members to target me.
Now look, as I turn, she puts her hands in her pocket. Okay.
Right.
Okay, now watch what she does.
Right.
Now you'll see what she's going to do now is that she's going to be sticking out her pinky finger. All right, let me zoom this up a little. Where are you at here? Let's see. Okay. I want you guys to see. Now, there you go. See that? Now she sticks out her pinky finger and her thumb. All right. And as she's doing that, there was another woman that was walking by, which I didn't get to show you guys, but you hear me say it, right?
You know, like for look at her pointing.
I think I might have just got a little piece of it. All right. Let's see if I can pause it. Exactly. Right. Now you see her hands. She pointed at me, and then she will put her hands down and put it in her pocket. See that?
You know, like for look at her pointing. Like for instance, I woke up this morning. My sister was in the kitchen. All right. Yeah, signal.
And then
All right,
it goes right back into her pocket. Now, mind you, when she was walking, she didn't have her hands in her pocket. Right? But as soon as she turned, put her hands in her pocket, there was another Sambina walking towards me, pointing at me. All right. And again, just showing you guys exactly what they do with the hand signal.
Right. So my sister.
And then what does she do? Right. So why are they doing this? Because they know how I've been brainwashed. They've been taught exactly what to do. All right. To send me the subliminal message.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, look. Right now, if you just take your finger and put it in your back pocket, when you take your hands, I said put in your back pocket. When you take your hands out, you don't position your hands like that. Okay,
Right.
so particularly, in
My
such a
sister
manner in which you're
is in the kitchen.
and then the palm fixation, right? Then the hands goes back.
All right, sitting down. Yeah, fuck you too.
And then as the guy,
Right.
There's another guy that walks and he stick his tongue out at me, and then
Right, sitting down.
the guy knows what's fucking.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Look, see, that's fucking. Missed it. It was very fast. I'm gonna try to pause it.
My sister is in the kitchen. All right, sitting down.
Okay, now he's getting ready to move his hand. Let's see.
Yeah, fuck you too.
See that? Let's talk about that. The pointing finger. Okay.
Right. Shredded mail.
Just gotta show you.
So I walk in the kitchen, make breakfast, what have you. Then I went back in the kitchen to put the plate down. She's sitting now with her legs spread open, right? Looking down at her legs, being between her legs, and then looking at me. So why did they do that?
Okay, let me
Right?
go back.
And they use
Go back a little.
Then I went back in the kitchen to put the plate down. My sister is in the kitchen, all right, sitting down. Yeah, fuck you too. Right? Shredded mail. So I walk in the kitchen, make breakfast, what have you. Then I went back in the kitchen to put the plate down. She's sitting now with her legs spread open, right? Looking down at her legs, being between her legs, and then looking at me. So why did they do
Now,
that?
this is key. Listen to
Right? And they use women to do that too. The Pam would do it too. Right? When they do that, the subconscious programming, like I said, used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore though, because I've changed it. But when they do that, the word pussy would be, my mind would say it out loud in my mind. Like when Pam sometimes, when I say good night to her, she's sitting on her bed, she open her legs. And and it's like, again, my subconscious programming would say pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, pussy what? Who's the pussy? Women have pussy, okay? Not men. All right?
Going on my tirade. Because again,
And I can never be a pussy.
and I'm gonna explain to you again why they do this. When again, that's who they are. Okay, that is who they are. Okay, so let me explain it to you.
See, are yellow or scared. The people that are pussies that are yellow and scared are those in the authoritative position. Those who have been committing crimes against the public and getting away with it, hiding behind their gun or their badge. Okay? That's who the pussies are. Right? Those who are so afraid of particularly black men who are conscious that they have to exhort to all levels and do all efforts in order to keep those men down, in order to discredit those men, in order to create narrative, right, and condition, manipulate, engage in covert warfare, covert psychological warfare, cognitive warfare against those members. You want to call me a pussy? I don't think so. I don't think so. Right? You want to call me a pussy? Yeah, okay. All right? The pussies are the ones who are poisoning the food in black communities. The ones who are poisoning our children with lead and then lying about it. Those are the pussies. So let's get one thing straight. Right? Because again, the position in which black men are in this society, all right, is one that is perpetrated on us by the pussies, okay? By the pussies, those white supremacists and those black Sambos and Sambos, okay? Those are the pussies. Not me or any other black man, right? And because again, black women have been conditioned to not see the warfare that white supremacists and white supremacy have been engaging against the men in their group, including their sons, their husbands, Their fathers. Okay? So there you go. Hey, with the banana. I know. Like I said, I go to the bank. That's what they do. And I'm gonna keep talking too, so you can use the banana reference all you want. But that's what they do. See, the minute when black men start speaking the truth, right, they'll call you crazy. But I want you to understand how they use symbolism, how they use certain things within society itself, branding, the weaponization of everything, the use of words. You know, listen to what was it? What show was I listening to? Dr. Phil Valentine's. And he's talking about how words, particularly the English word, how it is used to manipulate us in ways that we don't understand. Like I said, so you know, black people, people in general, calling their children kids. Kids is a goat, a big goat. That's what a kid is. Go look it up in the dictionary. Right? So certain words, you know, like they'll say apex predator, right? Like, you know, I'm watching a podcast, Ed at the Table, and it's like, oh, apex predator. Like we as human beings, yeah, we are predators, but are we apex predators? Huh? Do we sit, some of us do, I'll tell you, but again, it's for a reason. It's not for hunger, right? It's not for food. It's either for enjoyment, or for revenge, or out of, you know, I would say, out of threat, it's in your life, right? So an animal's hunting, a cheetah, a tiger, a lion, when they're hunting out of necessity. They're hunting because they need food, right? And prey are their food. Other animals are their food, right? Human beings, when we're hunting other human beings, is because, like white supremacists hunt black people, that's what they say, because they see us as animals. So they go hunting niggas, again, their words, in which, again, most black people tend to forget. Most black people tend to ignore, even when we see the text, right? And we don't think that, that the people in their circle don't think the same way, whether they be on the Predator Department force or not. We see black young children walking in the community that's predominantly white, and because they could have been living there for years, and because a white person never seen them before, you know, accosted them and threatening them, and wanted to see their ID, wanted to see they lived there. Now, what does that remind you of? And again, I'm going to explain it because most people don't understand history, don't know history. In Germany, right? During the Nazi reign, in East Berlin, with the Stasi's, okay? White people can walk into black communities, and black people, we don't surround them and ask to see their ID to make sure that they live there. But they do that to us.
That's right.
Right? So who's the pussies? Okay? Who is the pussies? Right? The pussies are those who will look at you as a black person and feel threatened by you for no reason other than they don't like you for your skin. Right? And only pussies do that. Alright? Alright. Alright, just had to get some out of the bank. I gotta do laundry. I've been ignoring my laundry. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, see why they're upset? Because again, I keep exposing what it is that they're doing. Right? So anyway, back to what I was saying. And I'm going to do
Now I want you to see her with the hand signal. Okay? There's another one. Talk about the hand signals. All right. Let's zoom in again. Real-time editing here, and it's a different form of editing. Okay. But I want you guys to notice again. Is the homeless guy? Actually, let me do this before I even begin. Sitting. All right. There you go. Okay, I want to get both of them in the frame so you guys can see. Now, see, she looks down at the homeless guy. They're sitting on the floor. And you see she folded her lips, right? Okay.
So anyway, back to what.
And then you'll see her engage in the hand signal.
I was saying. And I,
All right. See that? You look at the other hand, not holding the bottle of water. And again, the use of the bottle of water, right? Okay. Right. So early on in my targeting, they would leave bottle of water, you know, like on mailboxes, on the front of my apartment building, off the front of the apartment building that I live in. You know, there's these two pillars, right? So they would leave, you know, particularly when I was working, I come home from work, you know, late, and they would have, they'll put bottles of water there, right? Sometimes, you know, and they used to be like always fill, right? Always fill. So then they'll start, then they'll leave half, then they'll leave a little bit, and stuff like that. Remember, it's a conditioning phase, all right? Not only is it a condition, I shouldn't say conditioning phase, but it's a reinforcement of a condition that has been done to you without your knowledge. Okay? All right?
I'm going to do a.
And again, like, so tell me, which person you know walking around doing this with their hands? Okay? So, like I said, there are times when, you know, and again, like I said, there are people who know what's going on, right? They know people. There are people out there who know what's going on, and as I said, that people out there who know what's going on, they let me just hit the siren, okay? And but again, as a TI, who do you know who's on your side or not, right? You don't, and I particularly when I start to realize that, particularly, they will do the good cop bad cop thing, and I'm like, hold on a minute, I've seen this so many times, right? But I've never seen it in the way in which how they do it in terms of you being a target, in terms of me being a target, and using sirens and using call horns, right? So, you know, the sirens or the police are the bad guy. I'm the good guy. Listen to me. You know, I'll warn you, right? That sort of thing, right? But again, when I try to keep things in the more realistic aspect, which they don't want. You know, they'll send me subliminal message. Well, you know, if you get on psych meds, then everything will be fine. I've been on psych meds before. I was still targeted. Didn't make a difference. Okay, and psych meds, they ruin you. They ruin your nervous system. Okay, and again, a lot of mental illness that is being diagnosed is a mental illness caused by external factors. It's not inherited, right? It wasn't passed down as a genetic trait. There's no evidence or proof of this. But what they do is they target people, and they target people for generations because of their religious fanaticism, right? Okay, so you got to understand that because of their religious fanaticism. All right, hold on a sec. I got to go get some more water. Let's hold on a sec. Okay. All right, just heard the New York Predators Dept. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why. I was transferring some videos from my phone onto my computer, and hold on. All right, I was saying. So that was just my brother. I haven't seen him in so long. Comes knocking in my bedroom door. They activated him to come over here and, you know, do that because they used to use him in my targeting earlier. I'll be going certain places and all of a sudden I'd be seeing him. I'm like, what are you doing over here? You know, But again, it used to happen so frequently, whereas before it rarely ever happened, if ever. Okay. But like I said, it's to let me know who they've implanted and who they've been targeted before my brother and I became a target. And he's older than us, but I firmly believe that he was also targeted. All right. Anyway, but that's what they do. They target families for generation. Right. This, if you know, they believe that if your father did something, then you should bear the punishment of the father, whereas the Bible tells them that the child should not bear, the thing that the father did. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they'll, again, we talk about religious fanaticism, right? Okay. So anyhow, let's continue.
And I'm going to do a video on that, right? I'm going to do a video on that, and I'm going to explain to you, again, how, I got to do a video on these words that I written down, and I might do that today. All right, and if it's long, you guys want to do that, I'll do that today. So, when they engage in such behavior, such tactics, I get family members to target me, because again, because of this. Because the bullshit religion of Christianity that I choose to follow my ancestors, my African ancestors, right, spiritual system, right, in terms of gaining knowledge. And again, this is why we continue to be a lost people. This is why we as black people continue to be a lost people, because we don't want to know shit. We just want to believe shit. Okay? And then, you're in your Predators Department? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't know shit, we just want to believe shit. Right? That's my thought, you mean? Yeah. Let me show you. Yeah. Your Predators Department, look at them. We'll go over here right there. You can see. That's right. Car 4335. Oh, wait, you gonna turn? Yeah. So anyway. Again, always use of the police as a threat. I'm not scared of you.
Now, here comes the silent sound. Okay, I want you guys to hear this again. My spectralizer. When I pause the video, let's see if I can fix it. Jeez, I'm telling you, it is ridiculous what it is that goes on. In the software, when they decide that they're going to start manipulating the software, and they can't do that. Okay. They most can certainly do that. All right. Hold on a sec. Let me all right. Okay. See, now it wants to display a little bit of music, Matrix. Now it's, again, it never did this before. Okay. But this is the things that they do, right? Anyhow, so right here, right, they started hitting me with silent sound, right? And I'm gonna tell you, see the woman right here? See what she's doing? And I talk about the type of hand signal, right, with the pointed finger, okay, with the thumb sticking out, okay. So at this point here. Now, they're going to hit me with silent sound, meaning that they're going to give me a command, right, in which I'm going to say out loud, because I want you guys to hear it. I said, well, let me just play the video.
I gotta do my Bernie man. Oh, is that the fire truck? Hold on. Oh yeah. Look, the fire trucks. Look. See? Look. Wow, you gonna turn too? You turning? Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes, look at that. And they got the Sambo driving. Look, all the white, he's the only Sambo in the fire department.
Okay. Let me go back here because I need to. Let me see. I think I might have missed something here. Hold on.
Fire truck. Oh, oh yeah.
Wait, go back here.
Yeah. So anyway, again, always use of the police as a threat. I'm not scared of you. Wait, hold on. I gotta do my Burning Man. Oh, that's it. Fire truck. Oh, oh yeah.
Let me go back.
Car 4335. Oh, wait, you gonna turn? Yeah. You're gaining knowledge. And again, this is why we continue to be a lost people. This is why we as black people continue to be a lost people, because we don't want to know shit. We just want to believe shit. Okay? And then, yeah, in your president department, yeah, we don't know shit. We just want to believe shit. Right? That's my thing. Yeah. Let me hold on. Let me show you. Yeah. Your president department. Look at that.
I was about to say, as a matter of fact, let me go and refill my Metro card. Right? That's what I was saying in my mind, but I was talking out loud also. Okay? And again, when they do this, right, it's to let me know that they're the one that's transmitting these messages to me. No, again, you're going to see what's going to happen.
Over here, right there. You see? That's right. Car 4335. Oh, wait, you gonna turn? Yeah. So anyway, again, always use of the police as a threat. I'm not scared of you. Wait, hold on. I gotta do my Burning Man. Oh, that's it. Fire truck. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. Look, the fire trucks. Look. See? Look. Wow, yo, you gonna turn too? You turning? Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Now again, you will see the hand signals, and I missed this, so let me just now that I recognize what it is that they were doing. All right. Usually when I'm recording, I'm not really so keen on noticing a lot of things.
Oh yes.
I want to show you. Right?
Oh yes.
Now, look. And the red. Talk about the color purple, how they use the color purple, right? Remember, royalty. Purple is a color of royalty. All right. Now, why did he hold his phone up? Wasn't looking at it. Again, he's wearing the red sweater. Also, the cigarette lighter. The cigarette. Usually when they can't use the fire department, they will send people to stand up on the street, and when they see me, they will light their cigarette, or if it's already lit, they'll take a puff out of it and blow smoke. Okay? And it's deliberate, right? Okay? And you'll see, again, a lot of reds, right? Red jacket, red bags, red hats. Again, I remember too, because it's the holiday season, red is a color associated also with Christmas, with Santa Claus wearing a red suit and such and such. So again, color warfare, color psychology warfare is embedded into the system of white supremacy. Why? They have their scientists, okay? And there's a part of the video I want to play.
Oh yes, look at that. And they got the Sambo driving. Look, all the white. He's the only Sambo in the fire department. Right? He's the only Sambo in the fire department. They got the Sambo driving him around. Oh, look.
All of the fire men and the fire people, I should say, all of the people who work for the NY Fecal Department in this truck happens to be black.
Why are they going to the look?
So not also that, but why do you think they did it this way? To send me a subliminal message, right? That it doesn't matter it could be an all black fire department, they still can control them to target me.
I got to put into the train station to put my.
So if they consider you a threat, if they consider you that you could possibly be a black messiah. They want you to know that, yeah, we can get your own black people to turn against you. And here's the thing, right? The black Sambos and Sambinas, the black Christians who are white supremacists, right, will tell you that Jesus was persecuted by the state, right? But now they themselves are engaging in persecution of other human beings, particularly people that look like them, right? With the state. They're in bed with the state. Right? So when I talk about how people, they always talk about Jesus is coming back, which he isn't. But in their mind, they believe he's coming back, right? What this shows you is that they will also be the ones who are going to turn their back on their so-called Messiah when he returns. All right? Because those fanatical religious people with their religious delusional minds, you know, they will do what? They will control him, right? Particularly the state, I'm saying. And they will use the Sambos and Sambinas, okay, to engage in his or her prosecution. But this is what they do to all of our Christ. They use other black people to engage in their persecution and prosecution. So let's talk about Marcus Garvey and what they did to Marcus Garvey. Okay? Using the black bourgeoisies at the time, right, to sabotage Garvey's effort, right? So black people were willing to return to Africa, and white people was like, no. And the black Sambos, bourgeoisies was like, no. Right? Because they did not want those black individuals, black men and black women, because guess what? They had the skills. In the 1900s, beginning of the 19th century, not just the 19th century, in the beginning of the 20th century, 1900s, you had black people who had a whole host of skills. So them going to Africa would have transferred black people who had skills. They had skilled masonry, they had skilled engineers, skilled planters. Okay, and they did not want that. They have to dumb us down, as Dr. Phil Valentine said. I want to play a part of this, his video. All right, so let me just finish this one.
In my car, right? They come a high sticker. Oh, well, there's two of them.
So look.
They come a high sticker. Oh, well, there's.
Wait, go back a little bit.
I got to go into the train station to put money in my car, right? They come a high sticker. Oh, well, there's two.
That was when I said that maybe I should, you know, I was going to say maybe I should go to the train station and put money in my card, but I just said maybe I should. Right? Again, that was a transmission because I wasn't thinking about going to the sub to do that. But that's what they put into my mind. Right? That's why the NYPD showed up with the sirens, okay, and then followed by the fire truck. Now I talk about this, right? Whenever time you go somewhere as a TI, right, and the fire trucks and police shows up, again, that is a planned and coordinated attack. It is attack on your psychology. It is attack on your mind, attack on your neurological function also, okay?
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Two Sambos. Oh, they're showing me that they got the black Sambos to come out here and talk to me, right? That's how much power they have. They got the black Sambos. They got the black Sambos and Sambinas. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them.
I was touching the hair, fixing the hair. So she's, you know, playing with her hair, and she turns around and she looks at me.
Look at them. They got those. They got the blacks.
No. Again, you'll see the other woman here, and she start touching her nose. I think that's what she did. Let's see. Yep. Touch her nose.
Got the black Sambos and Sambinas. You think it's they might have put the notion in my mind.
Created a false narrative, and they believe it. right? That's what it does. Without, they try to justify it, right? This is how they attack young black people, particularly those who they consider to be leaders, or particularly those who the Sambos and Sambinas, the religious fanatics, will attack, right? And black people will use white supremacists against other black people. Because, like I said, in their mind is a white supremacist. If you call yourself a black Christian, you are a white supremacist.
Trying to come and put money in my card, right? And we're going to talk about that. Machine.
All right.
As soon as I use the machine, as soon as it's finished, they leave. Now, I could have been finished.
Entering into the train station, they're entering with me. As I'm leaving, they're leaving also, right? And again, this is what they did.
Before, but again, how they hack into the system, right? So I put my card in, my Metro card in, right? I put in my.
Let me just do this here because they just used the call horn, and I'm going to pause.
Before, but again, how they hack into the system. Right?
All right, so you see my hands, my finger, just
the system
right there, and when that happened, outside they use call horn. So let me do this again.
The system.
Okay, so you see that?
Right. So I put my card in, my Metro card in. Right. I put in my bank card. Right. Put that amount, and
their conditioning for understanding the fact that I was brainwashed, right? With Doc NLP, I was microchipped, being illegally surveilled. And they're going to say, well, this is going to be for the future. We're just experimenting on this is what when they talk about the thought police. This is really the thought police right here. Like I said, it's been here, and now it's personalized for every individual. Okay, particularly if you have a microchip. Right. This is again what they're going to do. And before I got up to get some water from the kitchen, my niece was in there. As soon as I went into the kitchen, she started playing with her hair. And again, you see lately a lot of people have been wearing black, particularly in the house. A lot of people have been wearing black, right? All the time, right?
Then I had to enter my PIN number. I'm attempting to enter my PIN number, and it wouldn't. Pressing the pads, the number pads, and it wouldn't. Nothing was happening. I'm like, okay.
Wasn't working, right? Number pad was not working, and like I said, I could have. So, I forgot. There was a lady that kept hitting me, and I'm like, and I'm ignoring her. She's like, the machine's not taking no money, and I'm like, lady, that's not the only way you can pay for your machine. I didn't say anything. I just ignored because I know what it is that they were doing, right? This is the passive aggressive of trying to assault me and do it in such a way that they're making it seem like they're trying to help me, right? And this is what they do. Like I said, they're not, as TIs, they're going to try to make you believe that they're trying to help you. That's not what they're trying to do, right? They don't want you to know what has been done to you because they want to control your mind, and they can shape and create whatever narrative they want, okay? And you wouldn't even know what's going on. You would not know what's going on. Talk about cognitive warfare, okay? And in cognitive warfare, what happens in cognitive warfare is that the attack on your mind, right, to the point where you and the people around you don't see it, right? You don't understand. You don't know. Okay. There was a post that I did that I actually gave someone some information on cognitive warfare, right? So I was talking about, again, some women love to make this ridiculous thing where, they figure, well, it's okay for a man to make over $1 million, but he can date a woman making $30,000, right? All right. And us men, we don't say, bro, why you dating down? Why you dating you know what I'm saying? Why you dating down? Right? But just it just again, I just love to make people think in a more realistic way, right? Because then when they know they can make better decisions, right? They can they'll understand that listen, not everything is about money, right? Yes, you need money. Okay? But when you look at the reality of most people today, they don't make six figures. So you have to come to that reality. You have to come to that realization. Okay? You must understand what is going on. And if you don't, then you're going to keep on talking the same talking point, which makes no sense. Okay? And that's cognitive warfare that's being waged against black people to cause a separation between black men and black women. When you have black women who has gone off the deep end in the fantasy realm, right? In the delusional realm. And again, it's not their fault. They're being attacked. They are being attacked just as black men have been being, we're both of us, black men and black women have been attacked on the system of white supremacy. And we have to understand them, but black women don't want to understand that because they have been conditioned with like it's negative. Like my sister today, she was telling me that they were doing some repairs where she worked, right? So I said to her, did they have somebody come in and check the quality of the air? But she was like, well, they put plastic up. I said, plastic alone is not going to keep dust out of the area where you guys are. It's particularly if they're doing construction, because she works in a home that houses mentally injured people, right? And I said to her, they're tearing down these things. They're wearing, hopefully they're wearing protective gear, right? But y'all are not. So they should reassure you guys that it's safe, right? But they don't do that. Why? Because it's black people working in this facility, and they house black people who are mentally injured. So they don't give it there. They don't give it. I talked about this where they were renovating our apartment, and in the winter, and they left the walls exposed. Didn't put no plastic. My whole room was dusty. I had my son for the weekend. I had to, dust out my bedroom. And so when I saw one of the workers, it was a black guy. And I said to him, I said, why y'all do this? I said, when y'all go do this in apartment buildings with white people, y'all to protect them from breathing in the dust and all that stuff, right? I literally could not have my son sleeping there. All right. So I think we went by Pam at the time, right? But it was so cold in the wintertime. And I said to him, I said, listen, you don't do this to your own people. Okay? You're a black man. You should know better. Put up some plastic. And eventually they did put up plastic. But unless you say something, they're not going to do it. So I'm telling her, she's like, oh, nobody got time for all that negative. I said, me telling you the truth, that's negative. Me being concerned about your health and your well-being at your job where they're making renovations, right? To let you know that you should call whoever you need to call to make sure that the air quality that you're breathing is safe, that there's no dust particles breathing, because you're older, and if that stuff gets into your lungs, it can affect you. But I want you to, so I said to her, me speaking the truth about what is happening, that's negative. I said, so when I speak about black children being poisoned with lead every single year in New York City, that's negative, right? So like I said, they've turned black women against the truth, against what's going on, because they created a delusional mindset in their mind, and they don't care. And this is nothing new. They don't care. They raise their children not as parents, but as roommates, as little young adults, even though they're not. They don't teach them anything because, like I said, they're either too busy partying, having their fun, and in the churches. And that is why as young people, particularly young black boys, get into trouble. Right? And that's not the only reason why. Well, that's one of the reasons, I should say. I shouldn't say that's the reason why. But that's a big reason why. Okay? Because if you're not teaching your children anything, if you're not teaching your children the truth, but lies, then what kind of adult are you raising? You're raising an adult who's going to lie. You're raising an adult who's going to be highly dysfunctional. Dr. Amos Wilson said this in his book, The Falsification of the African Consciousness, and also the black on black violence, right? Black on black violence is perpetrated by white supremacists and white supremacy. Okay, this is, you know, and what they do, in particular, me as a TI, is controlling people to attack me, right? But what these people don't understand, that it is their government, right, that is going to be the one that's going to control them. And if you can control people in the public sector like you can control an army, and do it in such a way to, you know, to attack a person or a group of people, right? And they have who they don't know, who've never done anything to them, but just through propaganda, rumors, you know, operating covertly, right? Again, it shows you cognitive warfare being used on the American citizens by the U.S. government and those within the security agencies and the military. Okay? So when I say I know, sometimes they'll be like, they'll send me some subliminal message saying that, okay, yeah, you know what's going on. And then they'll use the call. Yeah, I know what's going on. I know the reality. I accept the reality because I live in the reality. Okay? And I try to change the reality by doing these videos, exposing what it is that they're doing. But it's very hard. Okay? Particularly when you have people around you, like I said, who are just believers and who are religious fanatics. And they are religious fanatics. They may not see themselves as religious fanatics, but they are.
That's going on here. But again, it's a delay tactic. You talk about the manipulation of time, right? And so, again, you see all of them coming in there for what? Like I said, as soon as they put the idea in my mind, this is silent sound, right? Because I was even thinking about going there today. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I walked there, after the police.
And so I had to put in the area code, or not sorry, the area code, the zip code, right? You know, and again, this is not the zip code on my car because, again, Pam is my representative, right? You're on disability, you have a representative. So she had agreed to be a representative. So her zip, right, is different from mine. Right. So because what they do, again, try to isolate me by not wanting me to go over there. And again, she's the mother of my kids. I go pick up my kids and stuff like that. But they want to isolate you. That's part of coercive persuasion, right? That's part of brainwashing. That's part of you know, any cult who is attacking you know, whether it be a member or a non-member, because they want them to join their cult. Isolation is key for indoctrinating people, right? And particularly with silent sound. Right. So again, with certain information that I find they don't want me to look at, so they'll use the sirens. Okay, because it's to control the information that you receive. And in particular black people, they're dumbing us down. Every generation, our children, right, are being dumbed down, just as we were being dumbed down. Okay, so you know, like I said, what just happened again? The silent sound, and I, like I said, I could have been out of the train station already, but because they manipulated, you know, the situation where the machine, the number pad, when I would have put in my PIN, no, couldn't do it. All right, and I talk about how they use the system also to extort money from you. All right. So maybe, you know, it didn't work for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they do. This is extortion. Also part of being targeted, particularly in a cult, is to extort. Again, it's the church. What did the church do? The church extort money from its members, and they do it in such a way by saying, well, if you don't give to the church, then you're not going to get anything in return. If you don't tithe, then such and such, right? You know what I'm saying? It is their way of manipulating you to extort money from you and do it in such a way that you believe that you're making your own decision and giving the church money. No, you're not. They have manipulated you with fear. So that's why you give to the church. Okay? Because they don't use the money that they give you to better the community. They don't. They use the money on themselves, right, to enrich themselves, so they can have mansions and luxury cars and wear expensive suits and shoes, right, to write books in which gullible Christians will go buy and make them even more millions, and then they still come back and ask for more money. Okay, understand the con game being played in these churches, and like I said, these church pastors must be held accountable. Just like the dark tribes and the police force and the CIA engaging in these sort of top law enforcement agencies that are engaging in this sort of behavior, they need to be held accountable. Right? But but nigga parents would rather target me. You know what I'm saying? Because they fear white people, and that's what white people have done, is to create the fear in the minds of black people, because they fear us, so they have to make us fear them. Right?
It's like the words. Maybe I should go before my venture car. The fire truck show, right? Go down there, put my money in the machine. Like I said, I could have been finished already. Look, NYPD show again, all the way down there. Right? Look at that. Over there. Right? But this is what I talk about. What they used to do to me earlier in my life.
How do they keep you from exposing what it is that's going on? And there's something, and this is what, when I realized what they were doing, how they were trying to manipulate me, using, again, fear tactics to silence me. Okay, so here we go. Go back to psychologicalharassment.com. Okay. Not this one. That's coercive mind control tactics. Okay. All right. So how does coercive persuasion or coercive psychological persuasion differ from other kind of influence? All right. Coercive psychological systems are distinguished from benign social learning or peaceful persuasion by the specific condition under which they are conducted. These conditions include the type and number of coercive physical psychological tactics used, the severity of environmental and interpersonal manipulation, and the amount of psychological force employed to suppress particular unwanted behavior or to train desired behavior. So what is the trained desired behavior they want to engage in, and what is the unwanted behavior they want to condition you to not engage in? Love of self for the unwanted behavior, love of self, love of your people, particularly if you're black. So love of yourself, love of your people, understanding your history, right? Being responsible, okay? Teaching your children the truth, or teaching young people the truth, mentoring to young people, right? And what is the trained desired behavior? Hypersexuality, engaging in risky behavior when it comes to sex, right? Lying, right? Because again, this is the narrative. So they have to say, okay, use a lie, use a super predator, again, term used by Democrats, Hillary Clinton, again, let you know that yes, Democrats, the elites among the Democrats, racist, but black people don't want to get off that plantation. Okay. Again, not caring about yourself, not caring about your people, not loving yourself, not loving your people, right? Not having a relationship in which it benefits both people in the relationship. If you have children, not wanting you to be married, not wanting you to be in a committed relationship, not wanting to give commitment to each other, right? And you look for that support, right? That cohesiveness, right? As people who are in a relationship that is loving, that is caring, that is concerning, that both have courtesy, respect, both have understanding. That's what they don't want. And this is why you see particularly black relationships are the way they are. Highly dysfunctional, highly toxic. Right? Because we've been conditioned to have their desired behavior that they want from us. Okay? And so that is why any black person that's on the national scale that love black people, they've gotten rid of. The constant attack on our Christ, Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? In order to, as I said, Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? In order to have him not influence young black people, okay? See, after the Million Man March, right? They have been on a rampage in terms of trying to discredit Minister Louis Farrakhan, trying to and using not only psychological warfare, but economic warfare against the Nation of Islam. Because they are the only organization in America, a religious organization, who constantly and continuously, right, and consistently try to help black people to understand their reality. Right? So they have to demonize you. Just as how they demonize the new Black Panther Party. Okay? Here's a group of black people who's carrying on the tradition of the Black Panther Party. Right? And then to say that they are a hate group. Right? That's what they say, that they are a hate group. Which they're not. They're like me. I hate the people who hate me. If you're going to poison me, I'm going to poison you. If you are going to kill me, I'm going to make sure somebody kills you. Okay? If you are going to abuse me, right, you're going to be abused. You think this is just my thoughts, my way of thinking? No. White people do it. Asian people do it. Arab people do it. But we as black people, somehow, we're not supposed to think like them. Right? We're supposed, and you hear the black Sambos and Sambinas, the black Nigerians. Well, I don't live by hate. Yes, you do. You live by hate. Because you hate the people around you who's telling you the truth. You hate that family member. You call that family member the black sheep because that person, he or she, understand the destructiveness of the white supremacist religion of Christianity or Islam, the Arab supremacist religion. Whereas in the past, black people would use that very same religion to uplift themselves and to free themselves under the oppression of white people. Now, we use it for feel-good sermons, right? To engage in our delusional way of thinking of God revealed this to you and God spoke to you and God this. When the Bible tells you, God don't speak to you. And if you want to hear God's words, you got to go to the text. But how all these Christians, all these Nigerian Christians, well, God spoke to me and God told me this and God is defining me. God ain't defining you. Okay? God is not defining you. Your environment, your family, what they teach you, what they indoctrinate you with, the society, the education system, or the indoctrination system, that's what's defining you. Okay? Anyhow, all right. So coercive force is traditionally visualized in physical term. In this form, it is easily definable, clear-cut, and ambiguous. As I said, clear-cut. All right. Coercive psychological force, unfortunately, has not been so easy to see and define. No, oh, yes, I can see it and I can define it. And like I said, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it and I can define it. Okay. The law has been ahead of the physical science in that it has allowed that coercion need not involve physical force. So you see, even in law, coercion don't need physical force. You can use psychological force, okay, to get somebody to do something that they don't want to do. Okay. Eventually they will do it, but it's under the threat, be it in a physical nature or in a coercive nature. And they understand human nature. And what is human nature? Human nature, procreation, self-preservation. Okay? It has recognized that an individual can be threatened and coerced psychologically by what he or she perceives to be dangerous, not necessarily by which is dangerous. Again, this is why they use the tactic of my children. They're trying to send me subliminal message that they're not my kids, and so. And in the beginning, yeah, they were controlling me like that. I'm telling you, until I started studying what they were doing, until I went and I got a DNA test for my first son. Right, and again, which I'm going to do to Ethan and Alyssa. All right, and I said to Pam about it too. I said I'm gonna give them a DNA test. And she's like, why you want to do that? Because I said it because I have to. Okay. Now, she may take it as an insult or whatever, but understanding how these women are conditioned and the fact that they love particularly certain personalities and they do things like this every single day. All right. Every man, particularly if you're black and have children, whether they're married or not, should have a DNA test done. Okay. So, all right. So, law has recognized that even a threatening action need not be physical. Threat of economic loss, social ostracism, and ridicule, among other things, are all recognized by law and are all recognized. I recognize. Yes, I recognize their tactics. I recognize the hand signals. Okay. Yes, I'm going to keep saying it. Yes, I recognize it. I recognize it. I recognize it. I recognize it. Because it shows that they have brainwashed me. They have broken into my psyche without my consent. They have placed things in my mind without my consent. And they continue to do so using coercive psychological threats as well as silent sound spread spectrum. Okay? All right, so are all recognized by law in various contexts as coercive psychological forces. So why are coercive psychological force systems, why are coercive psychological systems harmful? Coercive psychological systems violate our most fundamental concept of basic human rights. They violate the rights of the individuals that are guaranteed by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, affirmed by many declarations of principle worldwide. By confusing, intimidating, and silencing their victims, those who, right, I say silencing, yeah, and silencing their victims, right? Those who profit, remember, listen to this now, they profit off of it. Those who profit from these systems evade exposure and prosecution for actions recognized as harmful and which are illegal in most countries, such as fraud, false imprisonment, undue influence, involuntary servitude, intentional infliction of emotional distress, outrageous conducts, and other torturous acts. Okay? And that is, again, the harm and the danger of coercive psychological systems. Okay?
Targeting, right? They used to command me to go certain places, and then when I do, you know, it will be a fire trucks right in front of the establishment. Right? They'll be right in front of the establishment with the doors open. Right? Okay? And then they will, when I arrive, they will all go back into their fire trucks and drive off. This is what they used to do. Okay? Now, again, no one ever thinks about the psychological damage they were causing me. Right? But again, that's all part of the person's persuasion and cognitive warfare. They never talk about the psychological damage that they've caused, the confusion that they've caused into a person's mind, right? The pain, the emotional pain that they've caused you, the physical pain, neurological damage, okay? Because again, your brain can't feel pain, right? Your brain have no nerve endings to where you can actually feel pain, right? But this is what they do. And again, they're giving me all the evidence that I need. So why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Because they've convinced the public with their narrative. Okay, remember, people in power who have the resources and the ability to do whatever they want to get away with it. And that's what they've been doing. All right, that's what they've been doing. We see how they buried the story of the diplomats, GKP 8323. Yeah, I know. It's true, right? They can do whatever they want.
Now, you see, and you know, when people, again, they hear the truth, right? Particularly, people will say that who are over, right? So they know, right? But they cannot, because again, when you start talking the truth to people, particularly black people, you know, their conditioning, it's a switch that they turned off from it, right? Particularly when it involves talking about racism and how black people continue to be hold on a second. All right, and how, let's do it again. So the reason why I'm doing that again is because you see the spectrum analyzer when I speak from the mic. Now this is, again, you'll see this happening, right? Which is something that like I said, it's something that they do, and I usually have to do this. If I speak now, okay, see, now it's not doing what it was doing before. Let's do this one. All right. Anyway, you know, I'm gonna try and fix that. All right, but how? Not right now. As I said, yeah. So black people are turned off, particularly Christians, black Negropean Christians. They're turned off from hearing the truth, right? Because the truth, the reality, don't sit well with them because they have created a delusional condition in their mind, right? The pacification of the Negroes, their offsprings, for generation to come, well, they will be adapted to oppression, right? Where they will not complain about their oppression, they wouldn't complain about their racist treatment, that they will just accept it as a part of life, you know, and don't do anything about it. Now, I want to, before I continue, I want to show you guys something, because it's something that needs to be said. Okay? Because you see, like I said, the Sambos within the Predator Department and the fire department, the Sambos and Sambinas, they are willing to endure the racist treatment in order to be part of the system, right? Not to change it for the better, but to become part of it and to engage in the same tactics that was used against them, against others that look like them. Okay? How a racist scandal at the NYPD led to its biggest suspension ever. Now, you would think that this is like in the 90s, the 80s, early 2000s, but no. Right? When his fellow cadet at the Fire Academy gave Kareem Charles a racist nickname in 2015, he said he chose not to escalate the issue. Again, keep quiet, bow your head, accept the racist treatment just to get along and just because, you want to be a firefighter so bad, right? Black firefighters had warned him that speaking up about racism went against the culture at the New York Fire Department, just as the New York Predator Police Department. Same thing. Right? But after the murder of George Floyd more than a year ago touched off protests against racism and violence in policing, the culture inside the New York City firehouse deteriorated beyond repair, Mr. Charles and other black firefighters said. So, why did the murder of George Floyd cause such a big issue within the New York Police Department and New York Predator Police Department and the New York Firefighter Department, who I call the New York Fecal Department, right? Particularly those who engage in targeting. Okay? Because they wanted black people to accept the fact that a black man got killed by a racist white cop who showed no indifference to the life of a human being, that he will put his hands in his, and again, also, you'll start to see a lot of people putting their hands in their pockets, right? Particularly black people. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So if I get killed by the cops, I'm about to put their hands in their pocket just to show you that, yeah, these are the type of subliminal message that they'll send, and they use black people to do it. Okay? So, white firefighters shared racist messages and memes. As I said, racist. Again, as a black person, I cannot be racist. I can be bigoted. Okay? But I only hate those who hate me. So, again, when they want to talk about racism, let me tell you something. How black people are so stupid. Well, not black people. Negropeans are so stupid. Okay? They will not call their white landlord racist for engaging in racist tactics to get them out of their apartment so he can renovate and charge twice the amount, right? He can engage in all sorts of racist tactics and they wouldn't call him racist. Their boss, their manager, right, can create a hostile environment for them because of their blackness. And they won't call them racist. But they'll call you a racist because you're speaking the truth about what white people have continued to do against black people. They'll call you a racist because you believe that if white people attack you, that you should attack them back. Simply if they attack you based on the color of your skin, you should see. Black people want to claim that they're all loving. They're not loving. And I'm going to tell you why. They're not loving. They don't love their children. They will let their children go join the military, be proud of it, go overseas and fight other people of color based on lies by wealthy white people. Right? But if their black sons say, you know what, I want to join the Black Panther Party, I want to join the civil rights organization, they'll tell them no. Why are you doing that? You know? Why you're going to go out there with this organization and you're going to get killed? But they'll let them go into the army to go to war, to fight white people wars and get killed. That's how stupid they are. That when black people are trying to protect you, right? They are against it. They don't want black people to defend black people. Okay? They don't. And that's our conditioning. That is our conditioning. But we would gladly send our children off into the army to go fight white people wars and get killed. And and we're totally fine with that. But when here in the United States, where black people are still being treated in some of the worst ways, right? And again, in the United States, you have a right to form a militia, right? And again, if you don't believe me, go look. The U.S. government gives tens of billions of dollars to white militias, to white private armies. The U.S. I repeat it again. The U.S. government gives tens of billions of dollars to white militias, to white private armies. All right. So when they want to engage in this topic with me back and forth, it doesn't work. I know too much. Okay. And again, when I say I know too much, meaning I don't know a lot, but I know the truth, right? I know why, because I've looked at these things. I've researched these things. They were trying to get me to not share posts from the new Black Panther Party on Facebook. And I'm like, why not? Why not? All right. The new Black Panther, they engage in food drives, clothing drives, the things that make the Black Panther Party. That's what they engage in. They're not going out there shooting up white people. But white people who are well trained are going out there shooting up black people. Okay? So we got to think about, truly understand how we're conditioned, right? And what it is that they do. And Malcolm X said it best, that when you start loving yourself and loving black people, they'll call you racist. They'll say you're racist for speaking out against their racism. They'll call you racist. That's what white people do. The projection, again, because they are expert at psychological manipulation. So the projection that they do to black people who speak on the issues affecting black people that's been done by white supremacists and white supremacy, then they'll have you believing that you're white, that you are a racist. And black people cannot be racist. Racism is an institutional thing. Okay? On the individual level, people can be bigoted. But only white people can be racist. Why? Because it is the system that is meant to protect them. It is a system that is meant to defend them against their illegal actions against other people, right? Non-white people, I should say, and particularly black people. That's why racism that's why white people can only be racist. On the individual levels, black people, Asian people, other groups of people in America, we can be bigoted, right? We can be bigoted. Only in certain jobs will a black person be a racist. The police force, the fire department. If they let your house burn, you know what I'm saying? Instead of attempting to put it out, right? Because again, they've been commanded not to put out. If they're on the police force and they engage in predatory tactics against black people, then only in those conditions, or in corporate America, and they won't hire black people because they want to be the only nigger in charge, right? So they will deny you a job. Then they can be racist because they're working within the system of white supremacy in which they have been elevated or given a certain positions that they can determine, and they can take your life, they can remove you from the society, they can prevent you from having any sort of economic upliftment, right? So only in those areas can black people operate within the system of white supremacy because they're there to protect the system of white supremacy. Okay? All right. So, this video is going to be quite a long one. All right. So, white firefighters shared racist messages and memes on their phone marking Mr. Floyd's dying moments. They gloated about how police could legally shoot black children. Okay? And lieutenants discussing turning fire hoses on protesters, prompting debates about whether the tactics would work because wild animals like water. Now, you have black people on the police force who are seeing these things, seeing the text. You have black people on the firefighter department who have seen these texts, reading these texts. Okay? But what they did today was to show me that, listen, doesn't matter who we put in there, we're going to use them to attack you. Okay? So it's something that I just had to talk about. And, just again, put things in a realistic manner for the Sambos and Sambitas in the NY, in the New York Predator Department, right, in NYPD. Okay? Don't think that they've changed their minds. What they've done is make it an issue where you're not allowed to speak about it in the department, whether it be the police department or the fire department. Okay? But these white racist mindset don't change. But your mindset changed because now you've accepted it, right? For the sake of getting along, for the sake of employment, and you've accepted it. Okay? All right.
They can manipulate whoever they want, including entire society.
And you see as I walk by, she looks down at her bag. Look, watch.
Including entire society.
She look back at her bag. All right, pull up her bag.
Okay? And they could make you, the person who speaks the truth, look like a liar. They can't make you sound like a liar because when you speak the truth, you're speaking the truth. And all people got to do is go research it.
This is why they want to silence you.
Okay? But they know that people in society are not going to do that, particularly black people. Why? Because we're too busy working. We're too busy enjoying the entertainment. So our time is not spent on trying to better ourselves in terms of psychologically and in terms of having a deep knowledge base and a conscious mind. Okay? That's not what we do. This is why our children, right? And we were children once. You always remember that. If you're a black person, this is why we did not know certain things, right? This is why we were ignorant in our young age.
That's right.
This is why they took the fathers out of the home. Look, same vehicle too. 4335. Okay? Oh shit, I actually turn on my block though. Why not? Okay? Because again, if they would have done that, that would have been an even more clearer incident in which I've proven that I am being harassed, threatened by the New York Predators Department because they've engaged in psychological warfare, covert warfare, not just against me, but the entire black population. But we don't want to offend that, I was watching my brother Anton Daniels. I love the brother, and I've seen the way he speaks now.
As I said, love the brother.
Because he has a more of an understanding, right? And I appreciate the brother for willing to learn, right? But one of the person on the panel, I forgot what show it was, says that, no broke nigga can tell me anything, right? So I want you to understand how we value money over each other, right? Because you see, we are conditioned to look at things outside of us as being important and not look inside of us and see the importance of being who we are, right? Of being who you are. And you don't know who you are because you don't understand your history. You don't know who you are because you value everything outside of yourself. Okay? When you value things outside of yourself.
You see the hand signal there? Watch.
You don't know who you are because you value everything outside of yourself.
And again, look. Hope you guys saw that, right? Again, let's zoom up a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay, let's go back.
Because you don't understand your history. You don't know who you are because you value everything outside of yourself. Okay? When you value things outside of yourself, other people, again, keep in mind when I say these things is because I understand that, but also
let's go back here. Oh, watch. And that's
because you don't understand your history. You don't know who you are because you value everything outside of yourself. Okay? When you value things outside of yourself, other people, again, keep in mind when I say these things is because I understand that, but I also understand that we're conditioned to be this way. We're conditioned to think this way. Okay, so let me just, I always gotta make these disclaimers and clarify certain things because, I understand the way our mind thinks, right? Because when I used to say our mind thinks, it's what we believe. When you value things outside of yourself, you place more value on things outside of yourself, on material things, right? Then you don't value the people that look like you. You don't even value yourself because you would do anything to get what you value outside of yourself. You will be willing to. The flag in the back of the vehicle. Just pass by that. I even look at it. And here you're president of very, very low in volume. So anyway, like I said, they've been doing that shit all. Like I said, it's never ending. They always do it. It's never ending. Regardless of, I may be in the house and not do a video, depending on, how they're attacking me. Sometimes they attack me below the threshold of my consciousness. I still notice it. I still hear it. I just don't want to do a video about it all the time. So they adjust. Because they know when they start talking to me heavy, I get fired up. You know what I'm saying? I get fired up when they, engage in a heavy target. Wait, so I gotta go to the side to get deodorant. Sorry.
Okay, let me just skip past this here.
Right? When they go to work, they listen to their boss and they follow the boss because their boss has been anointed into the position of who's anointed. Right?
Look.
And black people are more interested in you being a Christian as opposed to you being a good person. Because they think that if you give yourself to Christ, then you're going to become better. When they themselves who have given themselves to Christ isn't better.
That's right. Look. Girl looking. I'll tell you, she's looking back.
Right? They themselves who claim to give themselves their life to Christ, and again, Christ is never in Jesus. I said Jesus Christ, not the word Christ.
Does the word see my finger when in front of the camera, and then what happens? You hear the. Was it? No, it was the call. Right.
Christ it means one who's anointed, right? So when people join the army, they follow their command, and the command has been anointed into a position of leadership, right? When they go to work, they listen to their boss and they follow the boss because their boss has been anointed into a position of leadership. Okay, so they fail to understand what it means. They follow European white people religion. It is not. You're giving yourself white supremacy. When you are saying that I accept Jesus Christ, Jesus is a white supremacist. The idea of Jesus is a white supremacist who will tell you to turn the other cheek while you're being oppressed, who will tell you to give the government when the government is being tyrannical and taxing you, right? Remember, white Americans didn't like the fact that King George was raising higher taxes on tea. And so what? What was part of that was part of the American Revolution. Actually, that was the defining part of the American Revolution. Was the fact that they were being levied higher taxes. Right? Go look it up. We don't know history. Right? We don't know history. As black people, we've been fooled into a European version of history.
Right. It's just like the Civil War. When you go and you read Abraham Lincoln, his biography, and what he said that, if he can allow the South to maintain the institution of slavery and still hold the unions together, he would. He most certainly would. But we, as black people, have been conditioned to think that Abraham Lincoln is our great emancipator, and he's not. Okay? The reason why, part of it was the enslavement of black people, but the reason was because the South was going to become the dominant economic force in the country. And the northern elites couldn't have that because, we talk about the Industrial Revolution, right? So what do you think would have happened if They didn't go to war with the South, all right? Because again, the South was going to become the dominant economic factor, and they couldn't have that. The elites, the liberals in the North, right? And again, when you look at the eugenics movement, it was started by white liberal elites.
Right? We've been fooled into a European version of history that we've been taught lies about. So you got to understand that, right? Yes, you got to understand that. Yeah, I understand. I understand what they're doing. Like I said, I'm here for a purpose, right? And there's a purpose that they're going to try to prevent, but it's going to happen because of their narcissistic mindset, because of their ability they think because they have power and authority, right, that they can do whatever they want. Well, we're going to see about that. They've been getting away with what they've been getting away with so far. Okay, but I'm willing to take it wherever it goes, because it is my purpose. And here's the truth. They don't want black people to have any purpose except for what they give us. Whatever purpose they give us, which is to do what? Which is to do what? To elevate them and to keep each other down. To not listen to each other. To not respect each other. That's the purpose they've given us. Right? You got to understand this. White supremacy, Christianity is the same thing. Talk to you guys in this video.
Okay. All right. So you hear that. White supremacy and Christianity is the same thing. And because that's the truth, particularly this version of Christianity in which is practiced today. All right. And instead of us trying to find the original concept that Christianity came about from, you know, they have gotten us saying that, you know, black people, witchcraft and witches, and you know, I hear black people say that I just want to just smack them in the mouth, particularly black women. Okay? Particularly black women. You know who witches were? They were the female doctors. They were the female herbalists. That's who witches, that's who they call witches. Because to the European mind, women couldn't heal. Right? The only people that could heal other people were those chosen by God, and they were doctors. But, you know, they didn't call them doctors back then, you know. So and this was in Europe. Do you know, when you talk about the Dark Ages in Europe and what the church was doing to white people, to Europeans, they weren't called white people then, but to Europeans, right? Was horrible. Okay? The use of torture to convert people into Christianity and to becoming Christians wasn't something of love, of acceptance. It was by force. It was by torture. So what they did to the European mind, it took them over 1,000 years to do. All right? And they have been able to do that within black people for a much shorter time. Okay? So these witches were European women, okay, who were being who they are, nurturers, women who care and love themselves, their children, their husbands, their families, right? And they were smart women. They were women of intelligence. All right. But they were burned at the stake. They were tortured for the simple fact of healing. And some of them knew the truth about Christianity. Okay. Because guess what? They had understanding of certain texts. Certain texts that tell you that, you know, they talk about Satan, right? And again, Satan, Satan. The Christians don't even understand this stuff, right? But Jesus said that he's not the Christ. That Set, who became Satan, was the Christ. You learn that if you read the Gnostic Bible, right? In the the book of Judas, where Jesus took Judas aside, and he said, I will teach you about the cosmos, about the universe. And Jesus said to Judas that Set is the Christ. All right. So Jesus is called the bright morning star. Lucifer or Satan is called the bright morning star. All right. In Genesis, when God created man and woman were dumb. They were stupid. Okay. God did not want man and woman to have knowledge. All right. He wanted slaves to tend to the Garden of Eden. That's what he wanted. Just like in the Babylonian religious text, right? When the gods created human beings, because the gods were tired of the labor that they were doing, so they created human beings to be slaves. Okay? Your whole religious text, your book, is about enslaving other people. And the fact that your God, their God, I should say, and the God who you believe in, and again, you need to go and understand the history of your God, okay? Because your God had a wife, okay? Your God walked the earth, okay? Your God was a warring God, all right? So you need to understand these things. But because, like I said, these women, they had these texts, they knew about the other stories about, the other religious texts about Jesus. And again, there was nobody named Jesus in that time. There was Yeshua, and there were a lot of people named Yeshua, okay? So, anyhow, they call them witches because they were intelligent, they were doctors, they were healers, and the church, because again, male dominated and psychopathic mindset, right, started calling them witches. So again, black people love to say or call people things that they don't understand, because what the Europeans have done is to make everything that black people create, our spiritual systems, as well as those within their group who study these things and know the truth, right? They'll say, well, you know, you're possessed by demons, or you're rich, or you're this and that. Tell you, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, for they have become too religious, too superstitious. And you pastors who are in charge of educating the people have turned their back on the word of God. And so I will turn my back on you preachers. All right? That's from your Bible. And again, but what words of God? Okay? Because they pick and choose whatever they can benefit from. All right? All right, let's get to the next video. Oh, wait, before I do that, let me just, I won't forget to, but I do want to play this video, Dr. Phil Valentine's.
So, I must,
and go to Black
of this planet, he can, without any conscience, without any responsibility, do what he's doing to the planet. Because this is the way he sees science. He sees what life is. It's just things for him to rip up and study. Consequences be damned. They'll come later. So I must place into the records that his ever deeper incursion into the study of DNA is his ever deeper incursion into the study of dark matter consciousness, which is the study of melanin. Because melanin is the intelligence that makes the spirit real to us.
All right. So when I talk about certain things, right, again, from certain texts that I've read, you know, when you go and read the book of Adam and Eve, the books of Adam and Eve, right? And then the second book, there's two books. There's the book of Adam and Eve, book 1, the book of Adam and Eve, book 2. In the second book, right, Satan is a black woman, right? So Satan is black and Satan is a woman. Okay? See, in the Bible, in Genesis, the creation of man, you know, Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, right? You see, in Kemet, the women were in charge of knowledge. Okay? You have the goddess Sheshet. And when you see in the Meru Neter, the Sheshet, the feminine divine principle of knowledge and teaching, putting the Ankh in the mouth of the Pharaoh or the king or the queen, it is because she has been responsible for what? For transferring knowledge into the mind, right? Knowledge is a different kind of food. Information is a food for the mind, okay? Just like how we eat food for the body, right? Which again also it helps to protect the mind and keep the mind active, but also knowledge, gaining knowledge. And it is when you are born, it is your mother who teaches you, because in those days, the child will spend more time as they're young with the mother, while the father, do what men do, right? But yet you also had women who also fought in armies, right? So, you also had warrior women. You also had queens, okay, which they don't tell you about when it comes to African history, right? So anyhow, so the woman is the knowledge, right? You have the masculine, as with African people. There's always that yin and the yang, in which the Japanese and Chinese, talk about. That's an African thing, right? It means that you have a feminine divine creative force, a masculine divine creative force. You have a feminine divine knowledge, and you have a masculine divine knowledge. So everything is in pairs, duality, male and female. But because the European grew up, and again, this is black people who were changed into what we call white people today, right? Because of environmental adaptation, and who have been separated from the rest of the world because of the way they reside in Europe and some parts of Asia in the last ice age. And so it was the melting of the last ice age in which they now were able to move into other areas, populate other areas, right? But when you look at how African regressed while changing into what we call Caucasians today, all right? And that, again, they had to fight for everything. So psychology and tricking each other was a way of them getting the better of other people of other tribes, right, in Europe. So psychology has always been something that they have always mastered, because, again, the condition in which they came from. Okay? This is why, again, when they went to other parts of the world and they signed treaties, they never uphold those treaties. Okay?
It is the aspect of spirit that weaves the intent and the will of the Creator into something that we can perceive, something that we interface with through time and space, something that we could say, this is this and that is that, it gives us depth, it gives us perception. Melanin differentiates the one spirit into the many things that we witness as reality. So the study of DNA and the study of genius is the study of melanin, of which the first peoples of the planet have the abundance of.
All right. And of course, you know, when in the Bible it says, in Genesis it says, let us make man in our own image. That's two human beings speaking. And how do we make man or woman in our own image? Through what? Through sex. Right? But they've used science to create ways in which you don't need to have sex to make man or woman. Okay? So what is their agenda? What is their purpose? All right? You look at transhumanism, and that will tell you what's part of their agenda. Okay? Go look at what transhumanism is, and people who believe in people who believe in transhumanism, what it is that they want to do to human beings.
You see, when they mine us, when they stole us, when they captured us, when they came over and they tore up our ancestry and destroyed us, they knew they were doing the same thing that their scientists were doing, ripping up the melanin, tearing it apart, taking away its homogeneity, its oneness, and its unified form of the world, and fragmenting it into all these different tribal mentalities that separate us one from the other, have us fighting one another, just like he's been doing.
Yep. Okay. So I thought this was an important part of this video to play, because I want particularly Negropeans to understand the truth, to come into some consciousness, because before it's too late. And it may already be too late. Okay. Those of us who come into consciousness, right, understand that exactly what is going on, and again trying to awaken the minds of our people. But our people has been placed on the awakened sleep. You know, as Bob Marley says, you know, wake up from your sleepless slumber. You know, we are a people that are zombies. We are the walking dead. And when I say that, I don't mean dead physically. I mean dead in the mind. There is no consciousness within us. Okay? Zombie, you know, the whole thing of vampires and zombies has nothing to do with, you know, people drinking your blood. Okay? But it's to dumb you down so that they can live forever. So that they can rule forever. Okay? And not even rule in a good way, but rule in a brutal way, in an oppressive way. Okay?
Welcome to a brand new video. Yeah.
You hear the sirens again as soon as I walk out of the door.
You hear the sirens again? Just come out of the store, the bodega, and then start with the sirens. Both down here and over there. All right. So again, you know
that don't affect me. It does. You know, like I said, I went to the laundry and I did a video, uploaded separately, and you know, I literally totally blanked out and forgot, you know, to put the detergent in one of the machines, and you know, again, hopefully you guys saw the video, right? This is directly because of what's being done.
So they're trying to like bargain with you and say, oh, you know, don't talk about what you're doing, but they're still targeting you. They're still targeting you. They're still doing it. Right? So again, like I said, it is to make your mind believe something that is not the reality. Okay? Because they've convinced themselves, right, that they can, and again, it's all lies, what they tell the public, that if you don't talk about your targeting, meaning that they have not did anything to you in any way, right? Because again, how do they experiment on people with certain things, right? When you have atrocities happening, and they've already engaged in, particularly in Palestine, that people don't say anything. They want to condition the world to be silent. Again, when they start to recolonize certain parts of the world, particularly Africa. And remember, I keep talking about they do certain things to test the resolve of the human mind and the human spirit. Okay? So in order for them to implement what they're going to do to us as black people, they have to condition us to hate ourselves, to not love ourselves, because when they start to attack us, like how they're attacking me, but everybody is going to be more personalized, and more black people is going to be microchipped, right? Including for those of us who already are. That one of the purposes of Pro was to what? Is to do what? Is to target a person who they fear. And it is to do what? It is to turn them against the so-called bourgeoisie, or so-called what they call responsible Negroes. There is no responsible Negroes. The Negroes that's silent, that want to be all up in white spaces, even though white people don't want them up in their spaces, only tolerating them because
unless it's for their entertainment or their pleasure. Okay? Let me just say that. Unless it's for their entertainment or their pleasure.
in the minds of the white supremacists to have nigger peers or niggers within certain functions in society is to make them look good in the eyes of the world. Right? But if they can turn the people of the world against you, right, then they're going to start to really show you who they are. Or we see what's happening with that because Trump got elected, you see more and more white people are emboldened to show their true self. So what do you think is going to happen? So these so-called responsible Negroes, these are the control Negroes. And this is who they want. They want the control Negroes. They want the Negroes who they may give them a little bit of something and they feel that they're better than anybody else. Like I was talking about that brother saying that ain't no broke nigga can tell him nothing. Right?
Right. Because it's funny they'll say that, right? But then they'll tell you that they believe in Jesus Christ, right? And they'll tell you about Jesus Christ being about love and not understand. Like I said, Jesus Christ in the Bible wasn't a rich man. Okay? He was not a rich man. But you claim you accepted Jesus Christ, but yet no broke nigga can tell you nothing. No broke, can't tell you nothing because you got money, right? And so because you got money, right, a broke person, what they call, who we call a broke nigga, can't tell him shit, right? But Jesus or Yeshua was a broke nigga. Yeshua was a leader and leaders, I should say, right, who have gathered and unite the people to rise up against their oppressors. Okay? Think about that.
But this brother sure know a hell of a lot more than you. I may not have your lived experience because again you say you claim you're a millionaire, and that's I'm glad for you. And see, that's the thing, is that people who are black people don't hate on people for being wealthy. But you got people who have money who hate on you because you don't have money. You know what I'm saying? Because what? That mentality is transferred into their mindset as they elevate above the social, I shouldn't say social class, but above the financial, elevate a certain financial status, I should say, right? So again, it's funny though, because they claim to be God-fearing people and they believe in Jesus and love Jesus. Jesus wasn't a rich man in your Bible, right? Jesus wasn't in your Bible. Jesus was not a rich man. Matter of fact, Jesus didn't have no money.
What did Jesus says? It says a wealthy person, right? A wealthy person has what? A chance of getting into heaven as a thread going through the eye of a needle. Right? Do you know how small the eye of a needle is for a thread to go through it? Right?
But then you turn around and you talking to your own brother and sisters that look like you, that they can't tell you shit because they broke. So when I say Christianity, what it does to black people is that it gives them these good talking points, but they become highly narcissistic, highly materialistic, which is against something that is against what Jesus' teaching was. And this is why I say they don't follow Jesus; they follow Roman. And again, Christianity is a Roman religion. It is a white religion, and it's meant to subjugate you, to separate you, right? And to give you a highly narcissistic personality and mindset. Okay, so if you claim that you know broke nigga can tell you nothing, you don't listen to broke niggas, then you shouldn't listen to Jesus either. All right? What's up? All right, that's what they'll tell you. Go figure, right? But again, having a conscious mind will allow you to analyze things like that, to see things like that, and say, you know, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. These people don't even believe what they claim to believe. No one is begrudging because you have money, right? It's the attitude that comes with it. And when you start acting like this, like the oppressor, you start acting like the slave master, the colonizer, right? It shows you that you wish you were those people, right? You wish you were those people. And for black people, particularly poor people, poor black men and women, or working class black men and women, even middle class black men and women, to sit down and listen to you, right? That on their part, it shows that they're stupid. All right? Talk to you guys next week.
Okay. So that was the first set of videos. Okay. Now let's get to the other ones.
Building again. A little noise over there, and now here. So I'm on my way to the laundry. But again, they're the decrepit and depraved mind thinking that they can silence me while they continue to engage in the illegal surveillance of me in the home, right? The remote door monitoring due to the illegal implantation of a microchip. All right, and then trying to, you know, justify it, right? And how do they justify it? What is it that they're not telling the public or the people there, letting them know what's going on, right? The fact that they've been engaging in covert warfare, and covert psychological warfare against black people in general, right? But honing in on those who they feel is a threat. Okay? And not a threat to public safety, but a threat to white supremacy. That's what, a threat to white people in terms of how they've engaged in all kinds of warfare against black people, right? And again, I have plenty of examples. Talk about the theft of black homes. All right, talk about white real estate agents, along with those white institutions in the bank, financial institutions, plotted together to steal black people off their homes, to steal the homes of black people, right? Talk about how they set up black people to steal half their wealth, right, as a people. Right? But we don't think about that shit.
Now you see there she goes again, walking. And you notice that too, that the Sambinas wearing black, right? There's the folding of the lip.
Right? But we don't think about that shit. We don't think about that shit, but they should. Like I said, they got y'all nigga peers attacking me and others like me, right? Those of us who come into that consciousness, to that knowledge, to that understanding, particularly when it goes against the white supremacist religion or the Arab supremacist religion. right? Is the reason why they don't want you to return to your African spirituality, because that is a threat to who they are, right? That is a threat to who they are. That is a threat to the white supremacy of the white supremacists that lives in your mind.
And the lies that they've conditioned us to believe. Right? The lies that they've conditioned us to believe. You see, and many of us don't quite understand how the CIA has been deeply involved in becoming expert or having expertise on African spiritual systems, okay, and different African cultures. There is a declassified document in which the CIA was paying these black Africans, right, to engage in the study of their spiritual systems and report back to them, right? You know what I'm saying? In order for them to control the vast resources of the world, particularly in Africa, they have to know who they're dealing with. Not only who they know who they're dealing with, because they condition the mindset of Africans to think to believe a certain way, right?
In your subconscious, that makes you not want to hear the truth. That makes you not want to listen to each other. Right? That makes you not want to support each other and love each other. So your African spirituality is something that they fear. Right? While they practice their European spirituality. While they support each other. While they love each other. While they listen to each other. Right? But because, again, the ignorance of my people, right? And the very own Bible tells them that, my people have become too superstitious, too religious. And all they talk about today is religion. Okay? Anything that's African, they turn against. But not even understanding that there's also an African version of Christianity. Yes, it is a white supremacist religion. But black people have taken it as their own. Because were they part of the development process of European Christianity? Yes. But instead of you going and look at the original, the source, you in love with the refined version. And I say refine in a good way. I mean, we know what refined sugar does, right?
Right, to attack those within their family who have come into a level of consciousness, right? And again, using religion, particularly if they're very religious, they will tell you that you're a demon, you're possessed, and all this stuff, all this nonsense. Okay, but they believe it. Okay, despite the difficulties of their lives, despite the bad decision making, despite the, the abandonment of their children's psychological well-being and physical well-being, right? So despite all of that, right, they will attack those within their family who will try to bring them into a level of consciousness so they can see the truth, so they can think for themselves, so they can be better, so they can teach their children the truth and not repeat the mistakes. But we in the black community and black people in general, or Negro people in general, we keep repeating the same cycle. That was handed down to us by our parents, and we hand on those same dysfunctional mindsets and behavioral traits onto our children. Okay?
We know what refined flour does, right? We know all these things. So, like I said, black people too in love with white Christianity instead of being in love with themselves and each other and understanding what is African spirituality. What is the African spiritual system? How did it come about? What did our ancestors do? And like I said, you can't tell them nothing, particularly the older folks. They're already too ingrained with it. So there's nothing you can do. But that's not all of them, because they have seen some older black people who were once Christian come to the realization of what me and many others before me have been saying, and those here continue to say. But I want you to understand that this is exactly what they want, right? They want you to attack me, one of your own, while they're ruling over you, while they control everything in your community that you live in. And you are beholden to them because guess what? They own everything that you got, okay? Including your mind, all right? Talk to you guys in the next video.
All right, now I uploaded this video, but I'm gonna play it again because it is important. I'm gonna include it in here. As I said, that I uploaded this video. Yes, I am. Oh, look.
Just want to do a quick video.
So you see what I talk about, how they don't want certain videos to be played, particularly in the format that I do it, and so they do stuff like this. Now I uploaded the video early and it was fine, but I import the video, and they will select particular videos to do this. Right? So I got to figure out what's going on, how it is that they're doing it in order to prevent it from happening again. Okay? As I said, I have to upload these videos to prevent them from doing it again. They, oh yeah, it's here. Okay. Yep. Engage in the coughing sound. All right. Okay. Well, let's get to this video.
Why is she standing next to the building waiting for me to come out the laundry, right?
Now look.
Right there. Look at it.
Okay, let's go back here a little bit. All right, let's zoom in. I want to zoom in so you guys can see. So this is her standing at the corner of the building. Right, at the side of the building, I should say. I come out of the laundry, and again, I had to like get back into the camera app because what they do is that they'll manipulate my phone to exit out the camera app, and then I gotta, go through trying to get back into the camera app and putting it on video and all this stuff. So, but I did it fast enough so you guys can see that what it is that they'll do. Right. So she's standing there. She walks over to the vehicle.
Why is she standing next to the building waiting for me to come out the laundry, right?
Okay. Now let me let me just bring this back to a good size within the frame. Okay, so you'll see. Okay, so she was standing there. Okay. All right, she was standing there. All right. I want you guys to see this. This is her. Now, mind you, like I said, there's a reason why they will hack into my phone and exit out the camera app. Right? Because they don't want me to show you that people just standing around and then they see me, then they start walking off or walking towards me or turn around and walking away and stuff like that. Right? So what this does is that when they do that, I have to get into my camera app now because they exit out of it. Right? So now it takes me a little longer to get into the camera app so I can show you. So again, I just want you to understand that this is what they do in order to hide the fact that they have these people standing there stalking me, right? Because it is stalking. Okay.
Right there. Look at her. Why is she standing next to the building waiting for me?
Stalking. Yeah,
You're mine.
the New York Predator Department, and I accidentally pressed the Yoda video. So accident, or maybe it was their intention, But anyhow,
Come out the laundry, right? Look at them. I tell you, that's what they do.
you know what? I'm gonna do this.
You're mine.
Look. The very own nigga peeing. Yeah, now you acting like you want to get in the van. Right, look. She literally was standing over there at the building. Now look.
And then she looked down and see the keys in her hands. You see what she does? Okay, I want you to show it. Let me show you.
See? Tell you.
You gotta watch the hand signals because that's what they engage in. right?
That's a sick.
All right. So, okay. So let me go back a little bit. Oh, what happened here? Okay.
Literally was standing over there in the building. Now look, see? Tell you.
Let me go back here a little bit.
Yeah. Now you acting like you want to get in the van. Right. Look. She literally was standing over there in the building.
All right, she was holding her lip.
Now look, see? Tell you, that's a sick mind. That's a decrepit mindset that they have. They're literally standing over there by the building. Then they see me come out of the laundry and they come and say she acting like she's, opening the car door and pulling it and walking back the other way. That's what I tell you. They don't stop targeting you. They always do. They just want you to become silent while they still continue to target you and, engage in the destructive behavior. Because again, they're part of a destructive cult. And the agenda of a destructive cult is to do what? Is to manipulate people into joining their cult. And that's what Christianity is. It's a large destructive cult. And they have subcults.
Now you see a woman walking by with her child, right? And again, this is a very young child. Okay.
Is to manipulate people into joining their cult. And that's what Christianity is.
A lot of times these mothers do this, right? Without understanding the danger of what it is that they're doing to their children. Just like with religion. But they use technology, just like in the past they used television to raise their children, right? Particularly after they done help the white supremacists kick the man out of the house. Again, my situation is different. Okay. But still, I was still raised by my mother, right? My father, they separated before, not before, but like maybe, I can't even remember, but when I was very small, very young, right? And so, again, is different country, same thing. Same thing. Okay? We are not different from each other, no matter which part of the world we're in. Okay? Because the same agenda is being played out against black people globally. Okay? So I want you guys to understand this, that, these women, right, have no knowledge, understanding of technology, the danger of giving their children certain types of technology. Okay? And if you don't, let me just do this. Let me let me show you guys something. Okay. So, again, when you don't understand things, when you only believe, right? Superstition in the way, religion in the way. And that's, and that's from a Stevie Wonder song, right? When you believe in things you don't understand, superstition in the way. Okay? Parents should not be giving children cell phone, particularly under the age of 12. And at the age of 12, you need to have supervision over your child use of cell phone. And me personally, I think it should be at the age of probably about 15, I would say. You give them a phone when they get into high school. Okay. So my son didn't have a phone until he was a little older than 12. Okay. My daughter don't have a cell phone. Anything that have a radio transmitter and receiver, you don't want your kids to have, right? If you give them a tablet, don't buy them an iPad. An iPad has a radio transmitter and receiver. You buy them a tablet that has only Bluetooth, right? And it's different from having a radio, a receiver and transmitter, right? Bluetooth is a little bit different, right? It can still cause harm, but not in a serious way in which cell phone, giving your children a cell phone have, right? So let me just get to this particularly here, right? But the data, right? And again, right, cell phone is harmful to us adults also. Okay, these are something that we have to understand. We got to be very careful with the use of cell phones, but we rely on it so much that it is causing all sorts of physical and emotional damage to us as human beings. Okay. Do I really want to read all of this? All right. So the anxious generation, how the great rewiring of childhood is causing an epidemic of mental illness. Now, there's a YouTube channel called the Academy of Ideas. It talks about how the elites, those who rule the society will create mental illness within the society, because when you create mentally ill people within the society, you're able to control them and control whatever narrative you want to put forth, and they are going to believe it, right? Okay. So anyway, I want to look at this is some of the things that he said. Okay. But he talks about self-harm, right? Among children. It says they ask, what is some of the most startling data you found? The one that comes immediately to mind was the discovery that teenage boys used to have by far the highest rates of broken bones before the great rewiring of childhood. Before 2010, teenage boys were more likely than any other group to go to a hospital because of a broken bone. Once we get to the early 20s, their rates of hospitalization plunge, so that now teenage boys are slightly less likely to break a bone than are their fathers or grandfathers. They're spending most of their time on their computers and their video games, and so they're physically safe, but I would argue that this comes at a cost of healthy boyhood development. What is the mental health crisis affecting? Does this mental health crisis affect boys and girls differently? The basic fact about gender difference are that when everyone got a smartphone in the early 2010s, boys went from video games and YouTube. Video games and YouTube and Reddit, while girls went for more of the visual social media platform, especially Instagram, Pinterest, and Tumblr. The second difference is that girls share emotions more than boys. They talk about their feelings more, and they're more open to each other. Girls' levels of anxiety go up a lot in this period, the tweens and teens years, as soon as they get hyper-connected to each other via social media. Self-harm is a way that some girls have historically coped with anxiety, and those rates also went up in the early 2010s. It used to be that self-harm was not a thing that 12 and 13-year-olds were doing. It was more older girls. In the 2010s, emergency room visits for self-harm for girls 10 to 14 years old, girls nearly tripled. That's one of the biggest increase in marker of mental illness that we've seen in all the data that I've reviewed. Right? So I just wanted to talk about this because, again, you know, they do online bullying a lot. Okay? You see a lot of online bullying, just like you see bullying in society, which I've shown you. And, you know, those in the authoritative position are the ones that are engaging and allowing these things to happen. Okay? So, smartphones and children, are these hazardous to their health? Okay? Let's look at the negative effect. Right? Again, sleep disruption, right? Researchers from the American Academy of Pediatrics suggest that the use of smartphone before bedtime can disrupt sleep patterns in children. The blue light emitted from screens interfere with the production of melatonin, a hormone responsible for regulating sleep. When children don't get enough sleep, they are moodier, focus is harder, and it can affect how well they do in school. Now, I get melatonin for the kids, melatonin gummies, but they won't take it because they want to stay up. Right? When I was over by Pam consistently, we had a relationship, what have you, and the kids would have trouble sleeping, I give them melatonin, they go to sleep. But because they don't want to sleep, they refuse to take the melatonin. Okay? My daughter, my son, they will both fight just to not take the melatonin. But again, melatonin is an important thing for humans. It does more than just help you to sleep better. Okay? Melatonin is one of those wonder drugs that the body produces naturally, but you can also take melatonin in as a supplement and get those exact same benefit. Right? But it's not just young people, it's older people too. Right? Reduce physical activity. The allure of digital entertainment often keeps children glued to screens. As you see, this child, she's walking with this child, and this child has a cell phone in his hand, watching the cell phone. And she thinks that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. And it's not. When I go pick up my son from school and he's on his phone, I said, listen, get off your phone, put your phone in your pocket. When you get on the bus, you can get on the phone. But you're walking the street with your phone in your hand, looking at your phone. I mean, I'm walking with my phone in my hand because I'm recording shit, right? But if I'm not doing that, my phone is in my pocket. It's not in my hand walking the phone, looking at, reading things. When I get on the bus, then, I may read an article or what have you, or scroll on Facebook. Right? But these women, again, are raising these children, right? And they're not even trying to get information, right? And the things that are affecting their children negatively. Right? So this child, as he gets older, he's going to be so addicted to the cell phone that if he or she get their phone taken away, they will go through an emotional withdrawal from that device because they're addicted. Okay? All right. So reduce physical activities. The allure of digital entertainment often keeps children glued to screens, leading to a sedentary lifestyle. This lack of physical activity is associated with an increased risk of obesity and related health issues, not to mention the effect on their posture. Some children may sit with their shoulders hunched and head bent, leading to pain in the shoulders, back, neck, and more in the long run. 52% of teens sit for long periods in silence on their smartphones while hanging out with their friends. Within the house, my son loved to go to the bathroom with his phone. I'm always following him. I'm like, give me your phone or give me a tablet. I'm always behind him, right? And I have to be, because when I'm not there, their mother will let them have their phone, have their devices in their hands, even when in the bathroom. My son will walk around with his phone, put his phone down, and forget where it is, and have me looking for his phone, right? And I keep telling him, when you are finished using your phone, put it on your computer desk. Leave it there. Do not sleep with your phone in your bed. Do not put it on your sister's desk, right? Do not put it next to you. All right? And so, I send him articles of the biological and radiological effect on the human body, right? Of course, he's not going to read it, but I talk to him also about these things. Okay? Social isolation. Excessive screen time can hinder face-to-face social interaction, crucial for the development of communication and interpersonal skills. Seeing the world through a mobile phone may cause your child to choose to isolate themselves from friends and family. This can lead to social skills being underdeveloped and can also impact their emotional intelligence, which eventually affects them in adulthood. Rather than in person interaction, 30% of teens spend more time socializing with close friends online. Cyberbullying and mental health. The rise of social media exposes children to the risk of cyberbullying, right? Contributing to anxiety, depression, and low self esteem. Now, this has happened to my son. So he was being bullied in one of the games that he was playing online to where he punched his monitor and broke the monitor. Okay? And, you know, it wasn't just a regular monitor, it was a 34-inch widescreen monitor. And I had to talk to him. I said, listen, you need to stop doing that. This is what they do. Okay? You need to have better control of your emotions. You need to think about the consequences that will follow if you don't have control over your emotions. But again, and I understand how we as black people are being conditioned. We are raised in homes with mothers, women who lack understanding in certain things, who are about their own enjoyment and their own fantasy rather than the psychological well-being of their children. Okay? And so when I told him, I said, listen, you know, he was without a monitor for about, 2 months? Because I said, no, you're going to have to. And I did that to teach him that when you do that, when you don't think, when you just act based on, on your emotions, right, that you're going to do things that's going to be detrimental to you. All right. And so I said to him, look, when I was younger, you know, we didn't have that online thing. Okay. But I know that when things would happen, I said, I want you to think about this. When people are bullying you, right, and you fight back, they'll stop bullying you. So take the same attitude towards when they try to bully you online. Fight them back. If they're doing things to you, learn, watch what they're doing, and turn it back against them. And he started doing that. Okay. And once he started, as I said, and he started doing that, they're like, yeah, because they don't want you to retaliate against them, but they can retaliate against you, right? They can bully you, but you can't retaliate against them, right? So they can use their sirens all you want, all they want. All right. So just a few of the things. All right. But again, children should not be, and this stuff here it's when they talk about 4 ways to manage your child's smartphones. Again, do not give your children smartphones. Do not give them cell phones. Okay. You are destroying their health, their mental health. Not only their mental, but you're destroying their physical health, their cognitive health. All right. You don't have to give them a cell phone. But again, look at this. Look at this. And this is from people who don't think, who are not concerned about the well-being of their children.
Large destructive cults. They have subcults within the overarching umbrella of Christianity. So you gotta understand these things, right? This is what they do. It ain't nothing new, right? This ain't nothing new. I'm just speaking on it in a ways in which no one has ever spoke about it before. Now I was mentioning the command center. So what do you think they do? They went to the park, the command center, right there. Right? Look. Right? Because what does that? What are they doing? They're basically saying how we can have these things and black people can't. So it's like shoving.
Now look, they have a decal, right? They have a decal that look like the NYPD, public safety, right? So, and again, this is the Hasidic Jews, right? Oh yeah, now they start doing the spitting sound. All right. So again, who's controlling who? Right? Who's they're not concerned about your safety,
right? Look. Right? Because what does that? What are they doing? They're basically saying how we can have these things.
Their ability to protect themselves, right? Whereas we're not allowed that same rights as black people.
Black people can't. So it's like shoving it in your face when you speak about these things. Whenever I look at our black elders, those who have returned to the ancestors and those who are still alive today, you can hear they're being targeted. You can hear the sirens in the background, right? You can hear it. Sometimes it gets, I'm watching Bobby Hibbert, and one time it got so bad in the video, he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because, they recognize these things, but they just don't know the full scope that are typical Dr. Phil Valentine's. They bought Bobby Hibbert too, because they've done speaking engagements together. But yeah, the video I was watching Dr. Phil Valentine, he was talking about this stuff, talking about how the microchip implants, talking about radio wave, microwave frequency, manipulate our minds. And it's funny that I've never saw these videos before.
I don't think we're gonna sit down for 3 hours and watch my videos.
Until recently, they start showing up.
If you do, then I thank you.
On my timeline, and I'm always,
I'm gonna upload them individually also. Okay.
Watching those videos. But it's funny how they would block you from watching certain things that they control, which is called the Internet of Things, right? Controlling every damn thing on the internet. Controlling what you see on in your feed. The algorithms are used, or AI are used to censor you, or to censor certain information, certain people's channel, right? What they call shadow ban. Right? The more people are awakened to certain things, is the more likely you're going to see these things on your YouTube channel. Right? But I'll tell you what they will show, like in my TI YouTube channel, they've been showing lately a lot of these crime stuff, right? And I'm just like, why all this stuff look at my timeline? I don't look at this stuff. But again, that's part of their agenda, right? To give you a criminal way of thinking, okay? While the criminals, imagine the criminals are trying to make you have a criminal way of thinking, right? Because they're criminals. So if they make you have a criminal way of thinking, it takes the focus off of them and put it onto you, the people who they've victimized, the people who they've been manipulated, right? The people who they engage in covert warfare and covert psychological warfare against, right? When we hear about, when we see, not only see, but we hear about these police officers who go around just making up shit to arrest black people. And we're not angry about that shit. We're not angry about that shit. The very same white supremacists on the police force, the very same black Sambos and Sambinas that they will, not say anything against, as these very same individuals are the ones targeting their children, and they say nothing. Right? Because that's mind control. It's to condition you to become silent, even in your own demise. And in the minds of your people, the community that you live in, and your children. And you say nothing. You say nothing. So when I say fuck Jesus, yeah, fuck Jesus. When I say fuck your God, yeah, fuck your God. Because your God is a white supremacist God. Your God is a slave master's God. Your God is a white people's God. And he's clearly showing that he favors them over you. Right? So why don't you get it? And don't listen to these Sambos and Sambinas who, because they've reached a certain financial status, they think that there's no racism. They're selected to be there just because they think that there's no racism. Even when they're slapping them in the face. Okay? They condition you a certain way in order to elevate you so that you do what? To put you in front of the world to say, see, look, America's not racist. While the vast majority of your people are still suffering, they're still struggling, right? They're still being targeted, right? But no, God favors you, right? No, stupid. White people favor you because they know you're a Sambo and a Sambino. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.
Okay. All right. Let's. Oh, now I'm getting okay. I was getting an echo a little while ago. All right. So let's see. Next video. Is this it? All right. Here we go.
All right. Welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program. I'm going to experience. See the New York Predators Dept vehicle. Right there. You know, like I said, they gotta show himself. Look at the Why is she standing next to the building waiting for me to come out the laundry, right? Look at them. I tell you, that's what they do.
Hold on now.
All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program. I'm going to experience. See the New York Predators Dept vehicle right there. You know, like I said, they gotta show themselves. I think that's the psychopathic and sociopathic mindset. And what are they looking at? They're looking at the vehicle parked by the hydrant. All right. Well, there's a reason why that vehicle was parked by the hydrant, right? It's for exactly this. Right? For exactly this, so they can have a legitimate excuse to be out here to target me. I want you to understand what it is that they do and how they do it. And look, both of them. What? You telling me?
All right. So they'll show up when I'm going to the laundry because when I went in the house, I was uploading my videos on my computer to do this video. And so, again, because they know that I've gotten some footage, some very good footage, right, of their targeting and what it is that they do. And so this is meant to be a subliminal threats, right? This is meant to be a threat. Okay, what it is that they do. All right. All right, let's continue.
Both of them riding the ticket. look, what are you looking at? Huh? What y'all looking at?
And then what they'll do is that they'll also, like, particularly the white supremacist cops, they'll start turning their back when they see me, because again, I'm exposing what it is that they're doing, right?
Oh, wow, she stayed on her phone while you don't mind saying. But I take it. She got her lights flashing. Twill B and twill down. Twill B and twill down. They got the Asian woman now. They'll always find the Sambos and Sambinos of every ethnic group, right? And particularly when they associate themselves closely with whiteness. Again, America, whites know exactly how they condition the people of the world. Particularly in America, how the social status is and how they promote groups over other groups, right? So, like I said, it is, and not just me saying that. You can understand it. Even the Asians will say, at least the Asians that are conscious will tell you that Asians are not really the so-called model citizens that white people make them out to be. They're using them because, again, this is what white people do to other groups of people. They use them. Ultimately, they're more about themselves, and they will use other groups to tear down any civil rights, any equal rights. Well, there's no such thing as equal rights. They'll never allow that. But any sort of civil rights or civil protection of non-white people, because they want to be able to abuse non-white people, including Asians, who will soon find out, and the Arabs, who will soon find out, and the Indians, who's going to find out, and some of them already found out, right? He tried running for president, like, no, you're an Indian, you're not white. You're not white American. But like I said, they will always get non-white groups to attack black people in general. Okay, I'm not saying that. It's the truth. Okay, remember, I don't got to make up shit. They do. I don't got to, pay people to lie for me. Right? Speak the truth. They're the liars. They've been the liars. All right? They never held up their end of the bargain to any treaty that they do with non-white people. Okay? So again, their mindset haven't changed, but they want you to change. They want you to change to accept living in a condition within a system that their forefathers created for them, for their benefit. All right? Like I said, they will, there's a YouTuber, he might be a TI, I'm not quite sure, but his YouTube channel is New Breed. And again, the religious mumbo jumbo. And when you look at within, actually, let me just say this. 2 of the movies people should watch. The Matrix and the new GHV 6322, number 32, right there. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the Matrix and the Matrix series and the new Doom movie. Watch part 1 and watch part 2. And I want you to listen to, particularly in Doom, right? Listen to those in the elite circle, and particularly those oracles, or they call them oracles, or whatever name they give them, right? Or you would consider them to be like the Jesuits, right, of the Christian faith, of the Catholic, of the Roman, right, faith, right, and how they operate in the shadows, using both sides for their benefit, right? Just like you have white people in America, white people globally. They'll use other groups against each other, but ultimately, they're the ones that truly reap the benefits. Yes, as an Asian, you might reap some benefits. Yes, as an Indian, you might reap some benefits. Yes, as a Hispanic and Arab, you may gain some benefits. But ultimately, there's nothing compared to the benefit that they're going to reap and the rewards that they're going to get. Right? You must understand these things. Right? Learning history, learning these people's mindset, their psychology is what you do. Is what you have to engage in. Look, he's standing up there. Why are you waiting? They're waiting for me to come back. Look at him. Look at him. Waiting for me to stand behind the door, stand in front of the door with his hands folded. And again, look, he starts approaching. Okay, that's what they do. They've been using him to talk to me all day. Well, glad to put him on video. Like I said, I'm going to expose them.
All right. So let's get to the other video, which is, again, I'm gonna show you guys what it is that they do.
Doing laundry.
Look down. All right, that's what they're playing down.
Got the barcode on there. Like I said, they usually leave these stuff around just to let them know that microchip. Like I said, people already know that. Okay, but what they try to do again is to try to remind you, right, that you are microchip, and to do it because they know that they've engaged in propaganda, cognitive warfare, right, covert warfare, using negative propaganda, psychological warfare, right, covert warfare, in order to get away with what it is that they've been getting away with for so far, for so long, I should say. But their days are coming. Their days are coming.
That's right.
I was just reading earlier of the assassination of a pharmaceutical CEO. Right? People are starting to wake up and wise up. Right? The people that they should be doing, fighting against are the ones that continue to kill.
Realize and understand how much people these drug companies, insurance companies have, and pharmaceutical companies have murdered. They have denied medication to. Okay, and it is purposely done. It is their doing their part in the depopulation of human beings, particularly in America, particularly amongst Black people. Right? It's part of the depopulation agenda. To deny people of life-saving medication, to raise the price on these medications so high. If they can sell those same medication in Canada, right? A person in Canada can buy medicine at a much cheaper price. So if a person's suffering from high blood pressure, hypertension, what have you, the medication that they need may cost them here in the United States a couple of $100s, or even a couple of $1,000 for certain medication. But you go to Canada, you get those medication sometimes for $10, $20. You go to Mexico, get the same medication. So why is it that here in the United States, when the drug companies are the ones making and creating these drugs, that they can sell it so cheap overseas or in another country, but yet will charge you an astronomical price? As I said, astronomical price. I didn't say ass, okay? So you don't say they use the sirens. Yeah, the police are the asses. Yes, asses, police, asses. Yeah. All right, this is what they do. And these people don't care about anybody except for those in their circle and except for their family, their immediate family. Okay? This is what they do. This is the mindset. When I talk about these people believe that they are the gods that rule over us. Okay? So this is something that they believe. Right? So again, people just gotta wake up, wise up.
People and do it in ways in which, majority of people don't even think about. Right? So these people, again, poisoning us.
That's what they do, right? So
from the time we were children. And as you see, I'm not carrying again. There's another one. With the barcode. I just want to show you guys exactly what it is that they do and how they do it. So let's see if you see another one. Let's see if they're that involved. Right? Let's see if they are that emboldened to engage in that. Let's see. All right. So again, this is what they do. Been through it too many times. Alright? Been through it too many times. And the more I speak out, again, is the more I expose what it is that they do. So the more they have to fight against me, is the more they have to, get false witnesses, particularly Negropean females. Right? The Sambos and the Sambinas of the black community, right? The white racist Sambos, Sambinas, and Negropean Christians, as they have yet to understand how they engage in sabotaging their own children, their own family, themselves and each other, right? Because we are a people who has been defeated for the most part. We have been defeated. Dr. Phil Valentine said, what do? They dumb us down to the food, to the drugs, right? Through housing, lead paint. They even lead paint on the walls in public housing, right? Employment, making you work in conditions that is dangerous without any protective gears, right? Without any, what the heck is it? Right? Without any protection to protect themselves. But this is nothing new, right? One of the biggest contributing factors, the biggest contributor of the nuclear program was a black man who they had had him working with radiation, exposed radiation, not giving him any form of protection.
Yep.
And then
And again, I'm not making this up. Okay, I am not making this up. All right, so I was looking for a video in which there was an interview with one of our black scholars, and he was talking about speaking to one of the black scientists that worked on the Manhattan Project, right, which is the development of the nuclear weapon. And he was talking about how the scientists, they never gave him any protective gear. You know, whereas the white scientists were given protective gear, right? And so he died of cancer. He died, not cancer, he died of radiation poisoning. But I can no longer find the video. Hopefully, hopefully I'll do a deeper search and see if I can find it. But as I was saying, yeah, this is what happened.
died of radiation poisoning. It was a black man, right? While the white men, the white scientists, were given protective clothing, right? They didn't die from radiation poisoning, but the black man did. Okay? Again, I forgot his name, but go Google it. Like I said, this shit ain't nothing new.
And you cannot, but again, this is what they do. Again, because listen, we know at the time how racist the American government was. Still is today. All right? We know that they have experimented with black people, giving them STDs, which they still do today too. Okay? In order to sterilize us, as well as cause other bodily harm due to the due to misdiagnosis and untreated STDs in the black community. Okay, so we know it still goes on today.
This is the shit that these people have always engaged in. These are the things that they do. And we as black people, especially nigger peers, they're fools. They're stupid. Okay? Do we go around in their community looking for their young leaders, setting them up to imprison them or to assassinate them or to use them as a tool against their own people? No, black people don't do that. But that's what they do. This is what they do. Okay? This is what they do. So you gotta pay attention to what I'm telling you guys and listen. And go do the research yourself. Okay?
To listen,
you should be reading
the sirens, because again, they don't want people listening to me, right? They don't want people learning the truth, so they will use, again, cursive threats, right? Because you know, let me tell you, the mindset, all right, the dark triads, the mindset of the racist is something that, again, we have to come to a greater understanding that they're never going to change who they are. So we have to change who we are. We have to become like them in the sense that we have to fight back against what it is that they're doing. And we have to sometimes at least be brutal like them, as they are brutal towards us. All right? Because I'll tell you what, they do that to Chinese people. What do you think is going to happen? They do that to Arab people, which you see is happening in Northeast Africa. All right? But guess what? A lot of Arabs are fighting back. They're not in the street marching. They're fighting back. As I said, fighting back there. Yeah. Yeah, they know that their racism is going to be the undoing of America. But if they can condition the minds of black people to accept their conditioning, to accept the conditions, to accept the racism, to accept the oppression, to accept the taking away of their rights, to accept the microchip in order to put them under thought control, right? To stop the black messiahs. I said black messiahs, to stop the black messiahs from ever reaching the potential that they've been created for, right? And to get their own people to turn against them, hoping that, in fact, that they will turn against their own people. All right, you guys must understand the tactics.
Factual information. You should be reading information that they hide from us. You should be reading books. Go and read the book, The Golden Stool. Right? To see what I'm talking about. To read for yourself what they have done to us and continue to do to us. And the reason why they have done it and continue to do it. There's a small aircraft. Right? Talk about that. I got it. Hold on a sec. Good thing I took a muscle relaxer. Right? Where is it? You can hear it, but you can't see it. And we know the FBI and the New York City Police Department operates small aircraft used for surveillance and also used for harassment, right? Anyhow, talk to you guys in the next video.
Okay. Well, this is going to be the end of this video. Okay, I thank you guys. This is a long video, the longest video I've done so far. Okay? So I will talk to you guys on the next Target Individual Experience, Target Individual Program. All right? Thank you for listening. Please share and like the video.